Who's ready for the Dirt Life Show?
Yeah. Welcome in a little bit here. And I don't know, maybe we'll do it like right before the commercial break or something. So 45 minutes,
Yeah,
an
man,
hour
this
or
is
so.
a dope giveaway. This is some great stuff, and it's perfect for this time of year. So
It really is. So what? Well, let me finish the introduction stuff. So I'm Georgie Hamill. I always forget to mention my own name whenever I start the show. And like I said, we got Vanessa from Solderweld in studio tonight. It's going to be really actually a good show because we have some interesting stuff to talk about. We have the new Can-Am side-by-sides just got released, the 2021s.
they're pretty sick.
They are pretty sick. I actually just watched an intro video on them too. And one of our buddies, one of the guys that we, well, I don't know if we've ever raced against him, but that races professionally, Hunter Miller, he's going to come on and talk about them, have a little bit of fun with us. It'll be cool because he'll give us some real insight on it, like how it handles when you put it through some shit.
You gotta give us the real deal.
Yeah, exactly. So, our buddy Lance from Solderweld, he said that he was riding some side-by-sides this weekend, so that's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, we're happy to hear that he got outside a little bit and got some free time and got to get behind the wheel a little bit, get dirty.
Yeah, exactly. Finally. Plus, he always wants to race, right?
He does. Any chance he gets. Honestly, as much as he loves everything about everything that he does, truly in his heart, the off-road side of things is where his passion lies.
Dude, yeah, it really is. So it's neat to have him be a part of the show, obviously, and then to be able to let him get you to come over as well. So, okay. Well,
Thanks, Lance.
Yeah, thanks, Lance. So, as usual, you can always join us on Facebook and YouTube. That's where we are live every single Monday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time. So you can join us any Monday night, have some fun with us, comment in, hang out. You can join us on either YouTube or Facebook, and you can always listen to the shows we call them the archive shows, but on iTunes, Google, Stitcher, SoundCloud, every single network pretty much, anytime after that. So you can go back and listen to all the old episodes anytime you want. We have a lot of cool content. We've interviewed a lot of cool guests. So thank you very much, everybody, for being a part of the show. You guys are our lifeblood. It's really nice to have all you guys. And obviously, we want to thank our sponsors like Solderweld. Because they've been a huge part of the growth and support of the show. So thank you to Lance, Vanessa, and everybody at Solderweld. You can always use the code DIRTLIFE at solderweld.com and save a whole bunch of money. You can get stuff like this. Like if you can't wait and you don't win tonight, then you can get one of these off-road repair kits. You can get one of these welding blankets. It even has a little slit in it so you can push it around stuff. It's got some magnets on it. We just got a magnet right here to this little metal table we have in the studio. These things are super cool.
I remember you saying about how excited you were when this was coming out. So I'm
funny,
excited
right?
to see you guys use it on the off-road side a little bit.
Well, it's funny because all it is a welding blanket, right? And it's a small welding blanket. Usually they're pretty big, but this, since it has the little slit in it, and has some little eyelets in it, like it's it's next level.
Grommet magnetized. It makes it really easy to kind of work in those tight spaces and, protect.
And of course, Lance is always putting his cool Solderweld logo on it. So thank you guys very much for giving us this stuff to give away to our audience members. We can't wait to give it away in a little bit here. Thanks to the guys at Rugged Radios. You can use the code DIRTLIFE over at ruggedradios.com and save a whole bunch of money on any of their products. I know that they have some new stuff that they've been promoting for dirt bike riding, that you can wear a little walkie-talkie system on there. That's really cool. So all the guys that go dirt bike riding, when your buddy's in a side-by-side, you can still communicate with everybody in their cars. That's rad. The Zollinger Racing Products guys, man, we say it all the time, but they make such awesome stuff, man. They have a awesome machine shop. They test everything during the races. I forgot what they got. I think they got a fourth at the Silver State 300.
Nice.
This last weekend. That was pretty cool, man. So you can use the code DIRTLIFE over at ZollingerRacingProducts.com. Save a bunch of money. Thank you to the guys at KMC Wheels. We have some cool stuff coming up with those guys. Ryan over there is always helping out the guys at Honda. We're going to have a show with the guys at Honda pretty quick here. We're going to go up to their shop and have some fun with them. So thank you to KMC Wheels. And, yeah, of course, one of our biggest supporters, Justin over at Shock Therapy and his whole team. They have always been such a good supporter of the show, man. Justin has supported my program when I was racing, and he just continues to be a badass. So
one of my favorite logos in the industry, by the way.
Yeah, because of the little Shock right there.
I love it.
He is.
I love him. He's one of my favorites.
So we just saw him on the screen, so that was cool. And thank you to Justin, obviously. But you can use the code DIRTLIFE at shocktherapist.com and save a whole bunch of money. And if you don't want to go, if you have questions or whatever, you can just call the shop over there and tell them that the Dirt Life sent you, and they'll give you a discount too. So they're always working hard, man. So even in this quarantine, they've been kicking butt and taking names. So yeah, man, I really can't wait to talk to Cadence tonight. She seems like she's got such a grounded level program in her racing. She's got a cool personality. Her dad's been doing such a fantastic job with the racing program. Well, a couple things. I talked to him earlier this week, and her dad's name is David. And so David Cowan used to work with the Honda guys, who we're going to go meet pretty soon.
Really?
And also used to work for, I forgot who he said, I think Hendrick Motorsports?
She's a super bright young lady. I love watching them on Instagram. I love their posts, their tags. They're just super enthusiastic and just like to get down and dirty. I don't know. I just love watching them.
Yeah, it's cool. I don't know if you got to see any of the intro pictures that they sent, but so he texted me some of them earlier this week. And obviously she has a cool car. It's got zebra stripes. It's got some like... I don't know, it's baby blue or aqua and pink and stuff. I'm super into all that, like creative stuff, right? But one of the pictures that they sent, she was like, it looked like she took a mud bath. Like she was just covered in mud. And on a helmet, they have the little visors on them. She didn't even have that because she couldn't see out of it anymore, so she tilted it up, and then her whole face was all muddy, too.
Oh, good for her. That's a fighter there.
I know, right?
She was going for it.
So she had to deal with all the elements, but she still conquered them. So I think that was pretty cool. So we'll get maybe we should ask her about that race.
Well, I think that would be a good one. Like, that's commitment.
Well, we hope everybody had a good weekend over the 4th of July weekend, celebrated our independence in this wonderful country that we have.
Yes. We were actually talking about the fact, I don't know about anywhere else, but here in Tucson, a lot of the fireworks got canceled.
Yeah, I actually just sat on the couch and I could see them right from the backyard.
Where did you guys have fireworks?
I don't know. They were right there. Literally maybe it was from the fire station because there's a fire station back here. So it was like not even half a football field away. I just got to see the whole show just chilling.
Nice. Thank God my neighbors went illegal, and we had a nice fireworks show around my neighborhood because everything in Tucson where I am was canceled. So
really?
Yeah, everything. I bought some little Walmart fireworks for my kids, but my neighbors went full show. So
really?
It was great.
Was there any like gnarliness happening?
It was loud, like shaking the glass in my house loud.
Were all the dogs in the neighborhood barking?
My dogs went crazy. Like I had to put them in my closet just so they could hide. But honestly, I was grateful for it. Like I sat in my driveway and I'm like, thanks guys, I appreciate it. Thanks for the love.
Did you guys have any refreshments too?
What? No. Of course.
Sweet. So, yeah, it sounds like everybody, well, maybe you guys could chime in, comment in, and see what you guys did for your Independence Day. It sounds like they had, since there wasn't big fireworks, that, way more people started little fireworks shows.
Well, this is exactly what we were talking about earlier when I got here, is the one thing that came out of the quarantine for me. I mean, I don't know about everybody else. I'm still kind of, Tucson's still kind of going through a second
phase or whatever,
lockdown kind of thing. And at the beginning it was super terrifying. Everyone was worried about their businesses, but the one thing that kind of came out of it for me was this moment to just take a breath and kind of realize, like, maybe I was overtaxed and maybe I was doing things I didn't necessarily need to do.
Take a step back and realize what's going on.
Yeah, and I did things with my kids that I hadn't even done, because I was homeschooling. So I was like, okay, it's gym class. Let's go outside and kick the soccer ball around, which was things.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, though.
I hadn't done. Yeah, it was pretty amazing. I thought, all these years I have never been out in this cul-de-sac with my kids kicking a ball around, flinging a tennis ball around. So
has it made it a little bit easier for you guys to I don't know, share time together since you guys both have, well, I don't want to say time off because you still work a lot, but.
Yeah. The only thing I have to say that came out of it for me was frustrating was the whole hey, here's how to be a great at-home teacher. And I was like, well, whoa, hold on. I got another job. I don't know how to be an at-home teacher and, do my job at the same time. Thankfully, I'm blessed. I work from home.
Right.
So it made it easier on me. So yeah, the togetherness is definitely.
When did they go back to school?
They were supposed to go back August 3rd, but they're not going back till August 17th now because of the new lockdown. But they may go back online.
Oh, really?
But they're saying they want them to wear masks all day. I can't see my kids wearing a mask all day in school.
Plus, I feel like kids are going to cause way more havoc if they can wear a mask because they don't get caught as easy, right?
No, actually, I was, I have to tell you, I was in Circle K today with my sunglasses and my mask on and the baseball cap on. I thought, I probably robbed this place.
I know, and nobody even knows who you are.
Except I had a solder weld shirt on, so I did not do it.
Yeah. Don't let Lance get in trouble for you trying to get some M&Ms.
That's right. Be like, I'm going to score some M&Ms and all the cash in that register.
Well, we hope everybody else had a good Independence Day weekend, and I don't know, maybe the quarantine is helping all these people out too. So, thank you guys very much.
I think the outdoors enthusiasts are probably either they're annoyed with everyone else being on the road, or it's been great. Hopefully.
Well, I think it's really cool. Like lately, I was allowed to borrow a e-mountain bike from one of the bike shops here in Tucson, Broadway Bicycles, and a guy named Scott over there, and Casey Peck has helped me out to get it, and
that's awesome.
It was really cool. It was super cool for me because I got to obviously.
So tell me what an e-bike is.
It's like this bike that has a little electric motor, but it can help you, like if your legs aren't strong or if you want to, like most of the guys, I think, like for me, it's my legs aren't strong, but for most of the guys, they use it for instead of going mountain biking for like 10 miles, you can go like 100.
Oh, holy moly!
Yeah, so you can go way out there, but it has speeds with it, so you can press a button and you go like turbo fast or like go like just barely fast, and it's really cool because it gives you a little bit more power to get up like hill climbs and stuff. And but bringing back to the point that you just made, all of the bike shops are like sold out of every single bicycle because people have been trying to get out and go do stuff so much.
I think that's amazing, honestly. You know, we were actually also talking a little bit about all the commercials that are on right now about like DoorDash and like you can get food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner and stay home and beat. But I'm like, you know, at the end of this, we're all going to be living an unhealthy lifestyle for kind of following this advice. So I'm glad to hear that the bike shops are sold out and
trying to get people to get rid of some of the DoorDash.
Yeah, I'm like, at what point, like, if I follow these commercials' advice, I would be like, online everything, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, forget working out.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's cool, though. And then I actually read an industry report for the power sports industry, and up to this date, there like no units can be left in the stores. Like everybody's buying all the side by sides and dirt bikes and all this stuff for the same reason. They want to get outside and use it. But they said that there's going to be a backlash now because there's not enough units available to restock the dealerships.
Oh, yeah.
So obviously the dealerships have been crushing it, but now it's going to be like, oh, shoot, we got to catch up.
Yeah, it's going to be like a supply and demand thing. They're going to get scarce. And so if anyone wants to sell used ones on the market, now might be the time.
Yeah, exactly.
You're cash in.
And then all these people are going to be wearing masks walking in the dealership. That's not going to be good, right?
Don't get me started. My favorite is the people with the masks out on the trail, though. I'm like, you're by yourself outside.
Or the guy that's driving around with the mask on.
Yes.
I just think, like, man, you got to be, like, pretty serious about it.
Committed. The only thing, I mean, at the same time, if you're in a car by yourself, the only thing I can think is you forgot to take it off. That's the only thing I can think of.
Just got in the car, just were cruising around. Yeah. So it'll be cool to talk with Hunter actually tonight to see about the Can-Ams because
Lance, sorry.
We'll see. What did he say?
Vanessa talks with her hands a lot. I'm Italian and from New York.
You should be in the movie Ricky Bobby Talladega Nights. What am I supposed to do with my hands?
That's right. I don't know what to do with my hands.
Well, thanks for joining us, Lance. We really appreciate it. Did we get any other cool comments in there? They're probably people that are
People are shouting out Cadence about how rad she is and that she's amazing. So it's nice to see all those comments.
So I got a little story, and we'll ask her about it. But I don't know her and her dad very well because I just started, getting into the works racing and stuff like that, and that's where I found out about her. But I'm learning a lot about her, and obviously I keep track of her because her car freaking looks so awesome.
I love that you love her car. I have to tell you, and it reminds me a little bit of the unicorn with the colors.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, I just like when it's different. You know what I mean? Like there's a couple other guys that have super cool cars, like a really red one the driver's name is Cody Bradbury, and then but everybody else just has little stripes and then a couple different colors. You know what I mean? So it's like when you see one that's actually got some flair to it, you're like, yes, somebody's got it.
So expressive. Yes.
So I really like that style. And that's what got me like to notice her, right? So like if I was a sponsor, of course, like you you have to have the flash right away. You know, like what do they say? If you're a businessman, you have an elevator pitch, so you have 30 seconds.
Right, what's your elevator speech?
Yeah, exactly. Well, the elevator speech is the car. Like it looks super cool.
Right.
So now the next conversation is easier because you can say, well, I'm also a badass. So
yeah, that's exactly right. I have to be honest. I'm one of those people. I'm like you. I'm dazzled by the flair. Right. So if you dazzle me with the flair, you're going to get my attention.
Well,
right
if you're window shopping, you're going to go, oh, that dress is like the prettiest dress.
Look at all those sparkles.
Yeah, or look how cool those shoes are. Like I'm going to go get those. And then all of a sudden you walk in there and you're like, well, I can like be okay with the price because it's so badass.
Yeah,
right?
It's going to attract attention. In all honesty, Shock Therapy just called out their logo. When I was at Best in the Desert first time, I saw their car come around. I probably took 50 pictures of their car just because I love the logo so much.
That's cool. So, yeah, I think it's really cool. And then, like I said, she's a badass, so it'll be really cool to talk with her. And I want to see what all these other people are saying, too. Like, it's just neat to see what all these other people's reactions are when they talk about a person, right? And that's exactly why we started the Dirt Life show, is to get behind the scenes and understand who the real people are at the races, right? And to go back on the subject I was talking about is when I saw her car at the races, I was out there helping one of our previous guests. His name's Jesse Nelson. He's a pro motocross racer that got hurt, but now he races side-by-sides. And I was over there helping him. His program is really new, and he had some issues with his car that we needed to get measurements to fix.
I remember Jesse.
And so I walked over to her car because I saw it, and I was like, it looks like somebody takes pretty good care of this one. I'm going to measure this one. So I asked the people that were sitting there, which in fact was the Bradbury camp, and I don't think that Cadence and her dad were around, but I ended up measuring the radius rods on the back of the car.
That's pretty great way to get to meet somebody. This is what we were talking about the very first time I was on the show about, you were talking about how seeing the people that are out there and getting to know the racers and everything like that. About this is a lifestyle. It really is. It's a culture. People embrace it completely. It's not just a hobby. And
just think, like tonight's guest, Cadence, it's two generations. Her dad, and then now her as well. And
I think it's amazing.
It'll be neat when we talk to him too, though, because I'm sure she could have done other stuff, right? Like, what do most little girls like? Volleyball? They like other stuff?
Yeah, I mean, anything she wanted to do, but the fact that this was something that she and her father could bond over and really obviously are very passionate about together. I think it's amazing and it's inspiring, and she's like a little warrior. And
watch it. Her answer is going to be, I just like winning.
That's right. She's like, I just want to cross that line.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
I love that warrior attitude, though.
What did she say? A race report. James Morgan. Yeah, so we're skipping over Silver State. We went over that last week, but that was a cool race, though. It was neat to see everybody back at the races. I really enjoyed all that stuff. The one thing that bums me out is now, like, I don't know if you know anything about professional motocross, like the two wheels and stuff like that, but they had to cancel the first two races because of the second run of all this crap that's going on.
Yeah, I do. I feel bad for a lot of the racers, even for our sponsored racer through Solder World's Brad Callahan. A lot of the ability to kind of get out there and be in front of people and be in front of big crowds has gotten limited. Our ability to sponsor a lot of racers or even support a lot of race programs has been limited because of everything that's going on.
It really has. It sucks, but we talked about it in a couple of the previous shows. Like, now's a really good time, though, for everybody to step up their game in the other ways. So, like, Brad could still provide value to Solder Weld because he could do a bunch of other stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I know he's not doing it because I pay attention to his social media, but he could go out and film a video and just have it be a promotional video that gets pushed through social media, stuff like that.
I have to tell you, Brad has got more of a foothold now on TikTok, which I was happy to see. So I just discovered.
Are people really using that, though, for anything but dancing videos?
Yes. I got to tell you, once Gen X got a hold of TikTok during the quarantine, it's a whole different ballgame. And
I feel like it's just dancing videos.
It's not. There's so much great stuff on there. I have to tell you, I'm kind of TikTok addicted. And I was one of the first people to kind of like brush it off at first because, again, you go with what you're comfortable with, Instagram and Facebook. But Gen X got a hold of TikTok and it went amazing.
Well, as much as I like to keep talking about TikTok, not really, but Hunter Miller's calling in, so we'll answer and see what he has to say about these new 2021 Can-Ams. Hunter, are you there?
I'm here. What's going on, man?
What's up, dude? How are you? And you're calling into the studio tonight, talking with our audience, and then we have Vanessa as my co-host tonight. She's from a company called Solder Weld, and they actually make some pretty cool side-by-side off-road repair kits and stuff like that we're going to do a giveaway. So it's really, really cool to have you call in and talk about these new 2021 Can-Am X3s, dude. They look bitchin'.
Yeah, they really did a good job with them this year. I think a lot of people were, maybe hoping to see a big major change. And I guess to people who don't really know, maybe the smart shocks aren't a big deal, but man, there's a lot of technology packed into those things. I got to drive it out at Texplex for the first time a couple weeks ago, and I was blown away with it.
Yeah, they look super cool. Yeah, and I think I posted something online saying that I thought those cars were super cool. And, well, keyboard warriors are keyboard warriors, so you can take their opinion as for what it is. But I know how much goes into all the shock stuff because I'm good friends with Justin at Shock Therapy, and Fox has like an IQS system, and I've seen the Polaris stuff that's been out before. But all of this stuff really all the computer programs and the ECU that's behind it and like everything, it's pretty intense to have a whole system like that. And if you can have it operate that quickly, it's like F1 status, man. It's badass.
Yeah. Yeah. It's way over my head. That's for sure. The Can-Ams are a little different than, obviously the live valve system that's been around for a little while now. Right. There's sensors all over that thing. On each suspension point, and it's measuring everything from body roll to it's adjusting compression and rebound, which I think is the first time that's ever been done. So typically it's just compression, so you go into a bump and it's gonna stiffen up and keep you from bottoming out, but there's no rebound control. While with Can-Am's new system with the smart shocks, it's got rebound control as well, so it kind of eliminates that buck feeling that you might get from another system. Yeah,
that right there, just that one little thing that you just talked about with the rebound is enough to sell me on it. Like you and your brother are from, more like, well, you grew up riding dirt bikes and quads and stuff like that. So you understand the way that it feels underneath your body, like different than a side-by-side. But I've always been a fan of the Fox shocks because they do have rebound. The other brands don't. And so just that is like a huge selling point in my mind.
Yeah, no doubt.
What kind of other stuff did they change on the cars?
The smart shocks are the biggest thing. They did add a bigger magneto in there, which provides a lot more power to the whole system.
Yeah,
obviously,
that's cool.
The smart shock system takes quite a lot to run, so they had to upgrade that as well. But that's going to be good for people adding tons of accessories onto these things. It got to the point like at KOH, we were running dual batteries just to power all of the electrical stuff we had going on in there. So maybe with this bigger magneto, that won't be the case. They've got, my favorite thing that we saw was this new audio top they have. I mean, that thing, it bolts right in. It's completely self-contained, and all you do is run power down to the battery. Yeah, it's badass.
That's cool.
Yeah, going to be mandatory for my pre-runner for this.
I was going to say, dude, that's like super mandatory, right? I remember back in the old school side-by-side days when everybody would put big old blasting stereos in them. Now it's coming back, huh?
Oh, I'm telling you. Yeah, it's awesome. It's actually a really clean, nice-looking roof, too. And, I forget the speakers and stuff it had in it, all the specs on it, but we'd turn them all the way up, and you couldn't even hear the engine or anything. All you would hear is the music. It was pretty fun.
I'm sold.
So you can have way more of a party mobile.
Exactly.
We were talking about before you came on the show, like how the power sports industry is just like going bananas right now because everybody wants to get out and do stuff. It's perfect for Can-Am to come out and release these vehicles right at this time.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. It's everybody got scared, obviously, with all the COVID stuff and thinking that, maybe the power sports industry might tank. But I've got a lot of buddies at dealerships, and they're busier than they've ever been.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool. It really is a pleasant surprise, that's for sure.
Hey, what's your favorite colorway for the new cars? Dude, I'm digging that. It's kind of like that, like the flat sand color with the black.
Yeah, hell yeah. I don't know what they're calling that yet, but like it with the red accents, yeah.
Dude, it's
badass,
matching my
for
outfit
sure.
tonight.
There
with
you
the
go.
Red and the, yeah.
Nice.
Good to go.
I like those matte colors now that they're kind of rolling out on a lot of the cars.
Yeah, so I've been like contemplating what. Well, I should get Hunter's opinion on this. So we have a little Sprinter van that we're going to use for the Dirt Life show, and we're going to wrap it. And I was thinking either white front and then black rear with a big Dirt Life logo on the side, or should I go with like that cement, like kind of like that Toyota color on the front, and then black in the back?
I think if you
I'd go
did
with the kind of that gray color.
Dude, that's what I'm feeling too. I really want to do that. So
that'd be sharp.
Yeah. So I think that new colorway that they came out with for the new X3s is pretty sweet, man. I think that's going to be like flying off the shelves.
It'll definitely stand out. That's for sure.
Yeah, in the dunes too. That's like in that little like red accents.
Mm-hmm. You know, we were just talking about people being in the dealerships. There's a lot of kind of shocking things too that kind of came out of the whole. Everyone was panicked, thinking people weren't going to spend money, but all their vacation funds kind of came back to them because they're not going to take these big vacations. They're like, hey, let's take that money and go.
Yeah, that's true.
Go get some outdoors.
I didn't think about that. That's true. Yeah.
And so what? Yeah. Where did? Because you and I, Hunter, have talked about you've been racing at Texplex, and I want to get out there and race. Unfortunately, I've been working my butt off, so I haven't had time. But I definitely want to get out there.
Not a bad thing.
Yeah, exactly. But where do you – because I was actually somewhat concerned about this because I was planning a trip to come out there for a race, and I was thinking, are all the hotels like super shitty right now, or where do you guys stay when you guys go to Texplex?
It's only an hour from my house, so we generally just go out there the morning of the race. But yeah, so they have actually no, it's not far outside of Dallas. There's tons of nice hotels around there.
I'm just wondering if the hotels are all shitty. If you got to get like Airbnbs or.
So we actually just had a weekend that we spent up in Phoenix, the Arizona Grands, and unfortunately, even though it's a beautiful hotel, everyone's kind of furloughed and on leave, so the services are like less. Like they're not cleaning the rooms. Like if you want room service or whatever, none of that's available. But I mean, it's still a beautiful hotel.
Yeah, that's true. Well,
yeah, the last works race we were at, they didn't clean our room, and I was like, "Hey, can you clean it?" And they're like, "No, we're not doing that right now." It's like, I forgot.
Oh man,
yeah, I'm all to the beginning.
You got to pick up after yourself. It's horrible.
They're like,
not bed.
Come on. If you got germs, you put your socks on the floor. You got to get them.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Right on. So we got a couple more minutes. Do you guys have any plans to do anything with those 2021s or any like races or anything coming up?
We're going to be finishing off the Texplex series. That ends in August, and then Works is going to kick back off in September. We probably won't be in the 2021s until maybe at the end of the year when we start testing and pre-running for King of the Hammers. And then for KOH, we'll be in the 21s for sure.
Right on. That'll be cool. Do you guys have any plans taking Solderwell to KOH this year?
We want to every year, and this year I think we probably would have considered it, but I think we're probably going to hold off till next year with everything that's kind of going on. A lot of the, SEMA is a big thing for us. We were going to go way out this year.
Is that still happening?
We're not even really sure yet. We're actually at this point kind of concerned, even if it does happen, it's not going to be well traveled.
I feel like racing would happen way before a SEMA event.
Yeah, it's just, and it's.
Yeah, you would think.
Yeah, it's such a huge event, and so it's so international. People from all over the world. It's so huge. I just don't know how they're gonna.
Even if they do have it, it's gonna be like a quarter of the people that would normally go. I bet.
Yeah, we're not really sure. Or
I feel like that's playing with fire, going into a convention center and having a whole bunch of people standing next to each other.
And how can you properly social distance? So, I mean, as much as we love, SEMA is a huge thing for Solderwell, and we love it, and it's a great event, but we're just kind of concerned about whether or not they're ever going to have it.
Or return on the investment, too. So, Hunter, what have you guys been doing
Better go to the middle of the desert.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about, dude. Live that dirt life.
We're going to Camp Razor, KOH.
Do you guys got any other plans? Like, what have you guys been doing most of this year?
Man, our glass business is super busy right now. So, I've been focusing on that quite a lot. Some exciting events, like Texplex has a 12-hour event in December, which is going to be really fun.
Wait, what's that?
It's going to be cool. It's like kind of a Le Mans style event.
Yeah, like
so
a 24 hours of Le Mans, but for side-by-sides?
Yeah, but half as long and probably half as hard. But it's 4-man teams, one car, and a 12-hour race. It's going to start at 7 in the morning and end at 7 at night. And they've got a real big payout for it. It's going to be a 22-mile loop. So it's going to be pretty cool. You know, the terrain out there is not super gnarly or anything.
Dude,
so
that at like the last hour is going to be, you're going to like have the gnarly, you're going to be tired. The track is going to be beat to hell. Oh my gosh.
yeah. Oh
Dude.
yeah. Yeah. It'd be hard.
Can you imagine
sure.
A 22-mile course? I think you just said a 20-mile course, whatever it was.
22-mile loop.
Yeah, but people riding it, and let's just say
For
50 or 100 guys, depending on how many people break, for 12 hours riding that same loop.
No, I can't.
Oh my gosh. Dude, and the works races get so beat up, and that's like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. There's a lot of strategy going into it because, you know, the rules are so open. I mean, you could take a desert car out there, or you could take, you know, more of a stock setup, which I think is what we're going to do. But, you know, more of a basic stock car is going to be a lot faster than a desert car, but a desert car could probably go 4 or 5 hours on a tank of fuel, where a stock car is going to be pitting every, you know, hour 15 or so.
Yeah, that is a lot of good stuff to have to think about.
Strategy, yeah.
Yeah, nobody really knows how to set up for it. So that part would be really cool.
That's going to be super crazy. And so how do they have it set up? You'll have like one pit strat, like a desert race. You have like a set pits and things like that.
Yeah, it's going to be like one NASCAR style pit, you know, separate from the track. And you can either pull into pit lane and go and do your thing, or you can pass it and keep running laps.
Dude, that's going to be super cool. And you said that's at Texplex in December?
Yeah, I think December 5th is the date of it.
What's the weather like in Texas around that time, or like around you guys?
Dude, you really don't know what the weather's going to be at any time in Texas ever.
Oh,
like right now, you know, July 5th or 6th, and it should be 100 degrees, and it's probably 75 and about to rain. And typically during the summer, we don't see rain for 3-4 months.
Dude, I'm kind of feeling that, though. That sounds so nice right now.
I'm ready for the rain. Oh, I'm ready for the rain.
Yeah.
Hey, Lance,
really
we should
is.
go to Texas and
do something with solder weld in Texas.
Yeah.
Well,
everything's better in Texas.
There you go. Where do you guys live at, actually?
We're in Greenville, so we're like about 30 minutes east of Dallas.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad then. So,
East Texas.
I'm going to be in Texas August 20th area. I'm going to try to see if I can make it to that race. Like, I have some appointments that I need to get to out there, but I'm going to try to see if I can bring the car and make it to that last Texplex race if it's at all possible. But right now it's just work plans, but that would be cool to at least just come check it out, even if I can't race, and hang out.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, they I think it's August 25th. They've moved it back a weekend, luckily, because Vegas to Reno's the weekend before, and I'm doing that with a buddy of mine in a 6100 truck. So
no way.
Super pumped for that. Yeah, we're doing a TDRA race this weekend in it. Try to get some seat time. I'm super excited, but damn, I'm nervous about it.
Do you get to drive then?
Yeah, I'm gonna run. I don't know if I'm going to start or finish at Vegas to Reno, but I'm going to run half of it. So.
Dude, the like if you get to choose, finishing is cooler because it's like way funner in that like area of trails.
Oh,
like that area of the track.
Really?
Yeah, but I mean, who cares? You get to do it, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's my point.
Is your brother jealous that you get to do that, or is he doing it too?
Oh no, he's silently pissed for sure.
I'm kind of silently pissed too. It'd be a badass opportunity to drive a 6100 truck. Do you know what that is, Vanessa? It's like a trophy truck, but it has a stock motor, like a crate motor in it.
I've seen the trucks when I've been a contingency with solder weld, but I probably wouldn't be able to know the difference between them. But
dude, they're so cool looking. And
Lance would.
One of the cool things about driving those is like there's almost nothing better to drive.
Really?
Like, yeah,
I've heard that. I have heard that.
So I wonder how it's going to feel like if you're going to get in it and you're going to be like, dang, I wish this had the live shocks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I drove it around kind of just in the backfield at Texplex the other day, and it was super different, big time. You know, it's 2-wheel drive and doesn't have the most traction in the world, and obviously it's real hard pack out there. So you could spin that thing around in a hurry, but I'm pretty excited for it. My buddy, he's like 6'4", so I was a little nervous I wasn't even going to be able to reach the pedals, but it's so much different than a side-by-side that I felt pretty comfortable in it just right away. So I'm excited to get out there in it this weekend and, hit some rough sand whoops and stuff in it.
It sounds like it's going to be super fun. Did you get to send it off of any sweet jumps yet?
No, I barely got the thing out of first gear.
Sweet.
It'll be his first experience this weekend.
Oh, right on, man. Yeah, that's the first time I got to test in a pro light like a million years ago, and Casey Curry invited me out to California, and I was able to test in his championship winning pro light when they first started using the spec V8 engines, and I was driving it around, and I was like in first and second gear, and we were on a motocross track, so I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't even I don't think I've ever even driven a side-by-side at that point. And so I'm cruising around, and he's like, dude, what the hell is wrong with you? And I'm like, why, what? And I'm like, I used to race dirt bikes, I'm cool, right? He's like, you can go a million times faster. Quit being such a pussy.
Pick it up, pussy. You know what is it? Just on that note, I have to say that I did actually drive a side-by-side my first time about 6 months ago, and if he's listening, he's going to kill me for telling this, but he's all, what are you doing? I'm driving at 40 miles an hour, 20 miles an hour, whatever. Just he's like, pick it up a little bit, and then we almost lost it, and he's like, never mind.
Go back to what you were comfortable with.
Hey, 5 or 6 years ago, 40 miles an hour is about all they do.
Yeah, that's true, right?
Oh, yeah. Once it was 65, I'm like, this is great. And slow down.
And now you have shocks that can computer control themselves, so they can take away the driving for you, right?
Well,
I'll never forget.
It probably should have.
I'll never forget, a buddy of mine used to race Best in the Desert in a Rhino when it first came out. And they had this full built Rhino, and he's like, and this back when we were racing motocross and stuff. And, he's like, yep, you can average 23 miles an hour. You go 24 and it will break.
That's hilarious, man. Oh.
Yeah.
Could you imagine doing that speed? Now?
No.
No.
I can't imagine.
I remember back then I had no interest in side-by-sides whatsoever. They were around, but I just thought, man, those things, they go around the track 3 times and they break, and then they have to get towed back and they look really expensive. But now, it's not even the same type of thing,
Well, now you did, was it you or your brother that did the 2 races at KOH?
Cody, yeah.
Yeah. So now they're so durable that so his brother is Cody Miller, and he did obviously the side-by-side race, and I think you and your brother both got podiums, right? One of you guys won and the other was second or something?
No, well, we qualified 1-2, and then so we obviously started together. Well, maybe 3 miles in, a little further than that, maybe 7 or 8 miles in, Cody broke a rear shock bolt, which is obviously one of the most random things you could possibly break. But anyway, he took him about 20 or 30 minutes to get it fixed, and he came all the way back up to 9th. Which
perfect.
Was,
wow.
that was awesome, but for sure, especially after being down so long. But obviously he was pissed because I won, and we wanted to go 1-2, So I flew out the next day, and, they hung around and were packing up and everything. And I guess they were having breakfast over at Curry's, and, somebody jokingly said, you ought to just stay and run the 4,400 race. And so Cody started asking the big around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Those are the, big trucks. And, so Cody went to Ultra 4, and as soon as he asked if they could do it, they said, hell yeah.
Dude, when I heard that, I was like, obviously it's cool to see Hunter win it, but that split second decision, I was like, dude, that is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I will not lie, I was nervous for him for sure. And then well,
dude, those trucks are so big, they could run them over.
For sure. And wouldn't hesitate if they were in a tight spot, because they run over each other, but from the sounds of it, a lot of them were pretty careful when they were around him, but it's not like he was ever a trail plug for him either,
Yeah, that's good.
Most of the passes he made were in the rocks, going around those things, just because, they're so big and they'd be hung up somewhere and he could fit places they couldn't. So, we're pretty pumped for this year. We're going to both run the 4,400 and UTV race, and we've got a lot of ideas that we want to do with the cars to, they should be quite a bit more competitive in that class. I mean, he did awesome this year, obviously. I think he ended up 15th or so, and that's with, taking well over an hour to swap a front diff that he blew up midway through the first lap. So,
I mean, just going back to yeah, exactly.
He's got a lot of love for his bro. It's cute.
I know. Well, they're both very, very good at what they do. But the raddest part about that whole story is going back to what we just said. Like in the old school Rhino days or whatever side by side it was, you'd go 15 feet and it would break down. But now they're running two sessions at the gnarliest rock race that you could ever go to, and still semi keeping it together. They broke it, but they fixed it. But that is just insane.
It's come a long way, and I think it's because of you guys. I mean, you guys are the innovators out there. Like, this can't be this way. Someone commented, "Yep, me too. My first race car was."
Oh yeah, so we all know Lucretia. She said, she was like the queen of the rhinos back in the day when it first started in Best in the Desert.
She needs a T-shirt that says that.
Dude, well, she's got plenty of attention already. She was actually on the show a little while ago. She's one of our favorite people. So we got a ton of comments in Hunter right now, so we probably should get going, dude. But I'm so pumped on these new machines, man. Like, I really want to get my butt in a seat and actually try these things out, dude. That now that you said the rebound on those shocks, I just want to feel how it works.
I need to feel it.
It was crazy. Like, my favorite was the 4-seater. I didn't have that much time in a 4-seater before, but minus when we were going to photo shoots and stuff, and you could drive them hard, but they were kind of billowy feeling, and you could bottom them out pretty hard if you really pushed them. But man, we were mobbing that thing, and it was so confident and so comfortable. It was just incredible.
It seems like it's super. Who was the one that you guys posted some pictures on social media that I saw? Who was the one that was driving when you guys sent that 4-seater off that tabletop? Because that's a massive jump, dude, for a 4-seater.
That jumps like over 100 foot, and I think it was me in the picture. I mean, we were both doing it. We were going back and forth between which one we were driving. But
I mean, these dudes are like 10 feet in the air, one of those the heaviest cars. Like, you wouldn't think about doing that in a standard 4-seater.
That's crazy,
dude.
No, you come off. There's like a big roller in front of it, and you probably have 100-yard run at this tabletop, and you never lift all the way up and over it, and it would just jump and land so perfect.
Dude, that's super cool.
It was a blast.
I love those 4-seaters too, man. They're so comfy. All right, man. Well, we'll let you go, dude. I really appreciate you calling in, especially since it's so late over by you and staying up with us. So I really appreciate
no worries.
it. Have a good rest of your week, dude.
No worries. Yep, y'all do the same. Nice talking to you.
Yeah, you too. Tell your brother we said hello too.
I'll do it. Y'all have a good one.
You too. See ya.
I have to say hi to Zach from Quality HVAC, since I shouted out all the Solder World guys and said, "Hey, watch us on the Dirt Life show tonight." So, hey, Zach.
So we got a whole bunch of comments that are coming in. Kristen Matlock even commented in. There's a bunch of people saying how awesome Cadence is, and they can't wait to talk with her. So she's going to be on in just a little bit. We got to talk with Kristen Matlock real quick, and then we're going to give the Solder Weld stuff away. So as long as everybody followed the rules, we should get through it pretty quickly. But this whole following the rules thing has been pretty difficult for some of these people.
It is a challenge, yes.
Yes. Actually, we got Kristen calling in right now, so that's perfect. Hi, Kristen Matlock. How are you?
Good. How's it going?
We are doing awesome tonight. We can't wait to talk to Cadence in a little bit here. I was telling, I have Vanessa from Solder Weld in the studio with me co-hosting tonight, and I was telling her I only know Cadence from a little bit of social media stuff, and I saw him at a works race, but her car is like one of the awesome, most creative things that I saw, so she got my attention just by having her car look so cool.
So let that be a lesson, everyone. Be dazzling.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, she actually stepped it up this year with her design, and it looks phenomenal. So
I really like the way that you guys.
I might have to.
I really like the way that you guys designed your car this year too.
Yeah, I mean, I typically just flip-flop my colors around, but this year I have the little Vans inspired checkerboard on the back, so I might do a little bit more of that. I'm always so scared to do too much. Wayne's very plain, and likes everything really simple, but I'm one of those that likes to try new things, but he always scares me.
All right.
Are you sure?
if you could pick anything, not saying that you're going to do it, but if you could pick any type of design that you would want on your car, would it be like what Cadence is doing with the zebra? Would you go leopard?
That's a great question.
Jaguar?
That's a great question. What does your fantasy car look like?
Yeah, I like all of that stuff, but I really like the checkers, but I also I like camo a lot too, actually. So I might change it up and do some camo eventually.
My dad's a huge fan of that digital camo stuff, so he's like super into that.
So if you had no budget, no nothing, what would your car, George? What would your ideal car
I don't know.
look
I just got like
this
this really funny idea to do it like the bottom half of a human, like with the shorts and Argyle socks and some Vans, because she was talking about the Vans. So you could do it like the whole car would be the bottom half of a human.
Yeah, that would be attention catching.
That would
for
be
sure.
so funny.
Yeah, and then your helmet could look like a kind of like a calf muscle because it would be going up.
Wow, that's a vision.
That would be definitely creative. Yeah.
Maybe let's talk to Wayne because Wayne could totally pull that off.
I know. He needs to get more creative. That would be so funny. Make it look like the Flintstones at the bottom or something.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Feet are going. Like, the plumbers that have the side of their truck look like they're...
Yes, yes. Oh, I have
exactly.
You could use your imagination for that. Hey, so I was talking earlier about, really being excited to get to know Cadence a little bit better. You know her a little bit already, though.
Yeah, she's awesome. She's so young, but so mature at the same time. And like you were talking about earlier, very passionate about racing. So her and I met at the Dirt Series with her dad. Her dad was the tech director or the tech inspector there. And our boys just started racing out there, as well as Wayne and I. And so we just kind of hit it off because she's a female racer and so am I. And I felt like I was just talking to myself most of the time. She's, like I said, very mature and into the sport and just has such a drive to get to the front all the time. She doesn't take second for, it's not an option for her. She wants first every time.
Well, yeah.
I know someone else like that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and I was going to say, Kristen didn't mean it this way, but if Cadence is listening, that's a huge compliment. Like to be able to be thought of or understood, like, because Kristen's got some serious accomplishments. She's won the Baja 1000. She Iron Woman'd it. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff. So, if you're a 14-year-old girl, that's a really, really good thing to hear. You know what I mean?
Role model to look up to and to
absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
Inspired by Cadence. That's amazing.
Well, maybe it could go the other way, too. Maybe Kristen could get some inspiration from design from Cadence and then, like, throw it into her car, too.
That bravery, that willingness to take the leap.
She could also she'd be like, oh, Cadence told me to do it, so Wayne doesn't get mad at her.
There you go. So you
exactly.
Can't get mad at a 14-year-old.
That's true. Yeah, I can tell that she's going to be the one to watch in the future, whenever I'm looking at retirement someday, she'll be stepping in.
It's really
got to
cool,
watch
though.
my back.
Well, we've interviewed many kids and different things like that, and obviously I see them all at the races and stuff. And I don't think any of us really have any favorites. I think that it's just super, super cool to see all these kids doing so well. Each of them have their own little individualities, and they have their own personalities. They have their own creativity. That they have their own work ethic. But I think one common thing that they all have is a good support mechanism.
Mm-hmm. They have great supportive families. The other thing that I think is great too is you never see, it's kind of, I'm not calling out the soccer moms, my kids play soccer, all that stuff, but you never see a parent dragging a kid out there and being like, you got to do this. You have to do this. These kids are all fire. They want to do it. They're into it. They're all about the sport. There's no forcing them into this. They love it.
Yeah, it really is. And to get the opportunity to do it is just cool.
That's true.
Yeah. And David's definitely one of those dads where he's behind her 100%. He's done it in his lifetime, and then he saw the light in her eyes and just put her program together, and here she is. And it's really cool because, they decided that they wanted to go down to Baja and check it out, and they ended up going with our team a couple times now, maybe even 3 times. Yeah. And typically I would invite David and probably not the child, because, if they don't show that they're super into it and they're going to be helpful and mature and not quote unquote get in the way, so to say, there's no way I'm going to invite them. But I saw it in her eyes as well and knew that she was going to be right there with the rest of the guys, willing to help and step up to the plate when we need her. She's in the pit doing whatever we ask her to do. If all I need is gum, water, and maybe a piece of chicken, she's doing that. But if we need help changing a tire, she's right there as well. So she's awesome, and so is he. Love it. That's
some hard-working effort right there. Like Kristen makes it sound like it's easy, but that's like a super big deal to be able to do that. What did she think, Kristen? Like after it was all done, like was she super pumped on it?
Yeah, she was super pumped. I was a little bit worried initially too to put such a young girl in the truck for that many hours too.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean, like
okay?
every kid like doesn't want to sit in the truck. They're like, "Get me out of here!" Like, so I was gonna see like, did she? Obviously, there was probably certain things that she did or didn't like, but overall, that's a super cool experience.
She came back at the finish, and I'm like, "So, would you do it again?" And she was all over it. So.
Wow.
There she was at the next event.
Yep.
That's cool. And good on you guys for inviting them down there too. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. We'd love to have them anytime. We're always extending the invite, but she races so much, it's hard to make our schedules go hand in hand there. But.
Were you? I don't know if you guys. Oh no, because you guys were at Silver State, but they raced. I don't know. I forgot what her dad told me. 10 or 12 races or something this last weekend.
Right.
I was like, how the heck do you even fit in that much time during the day?
I know. Yeah, that's that dirt series I was just talking about, and as well as the side-by-side regionals. They usually are back-to-back at the same event area. And so you can just race all day long if you want to. It's pretty cool, actually. That's why our boys love going there, as well as Wayne. He gets behind the wheel of the RS1 and gets out there and has fun with them, just grassroots style.
Yeah, I think that's actually really cool, though. That's like way more like motocross or quad racing or something, too, because like most of the time, like, well, in the stuff that I did at the Lucas Off-Road Series, it's just hurry up and wait. Like you get maybe the whole weekend, you get maybe 25 minutes to 30 minutes of drive time for, 100 hours worth of work.
Yeah, that sounds
right.
It sounds like these types of things where you can back to back and just get out there. Like that's going to fulfill the people that are like, I'm just here to race.
Yeah, well, and more grassroots, like Kristen said, too.
Yep.
So that's really cool, man. I didn't know that you guys had such a close relationship with Cadence. I think it's neat to be able to, well, first of all, to understand how supportive you are of the new generation. I mean, like, there's a lot of people that wouldn't even think about doing that, but and then to obviously give the girls an opportunity too. It's pretty sweet.
Definitely. I'm glad that she sees the fire.
I love inspiring everybody, but especially the girls that are up and coming too, or just getting into the sport. If they have any questions, I love just giving them my phone number and let's just talk about it. So they're not getting into something that they may have thought it was something different, or vice versa.
Yeah, and that's a good point, though, too, like going back on the support mechanisms. Obviously, they have the good support mechanisms from their family and stuff, but in racing, usually there's not a support mechanism like that, like a, what do you call it, like a protege, like a
mentorship.
A mentorship, like a mentorship.
Yeah.
So it's, especially in off-road, so that Kristen's doing, that's pretty awesome, too.
It's pretty, I mean, I have to say, this is something that's always kind of impressed me, is how tight-knit the community is, but to see these kind of like, even to use the term grassroots mentorships popping up and people, inspiring the next generation, it's pretty amazing.
Just good on you for doing that, Kristen. Hey, I was going to tell you something else, too, that I just figured out earlier today, is the only person ahead of you, and it's just because he has a commercial on the show. You've been on the show more than anybody else other than Justin Smith.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I wanted to thank you.
Cool.
I wanted to thank you because for being such a good friend of the show and obviously supporting us. It's awesome.
Of course. Yeah, I love the show and I love being on here, and there's always something new to talk about.
Yeah, exactly.
We're always doing something fun out there.
Well, we're going to go to a commercial break in just a sec, but before we go, what's the next things for you guys on the schedule?
Oh, well, we'll see how all this goes, but Baja 500, as long as it truly happens. Otherwise, we'll definitely be at Vegas to Reno.
Oh, is there some new news with the Baja 500? Because I thought it was postponed.
Well, they rescheduled it to the second weekend of August.
Oh, okay. That's still
Yeah,
coming
so
up
it's
pretty
the
quick.
weekend before Vegas to Reno. Yeah. So the border restrictions are supposed to be lifted on July 21st. So if that indeed happens, then we'll be down there. But if not, if they extend it further, then we'll be packing up for Vegas.
So are you guys, if you did Baja, you wouldn't do the Vegas to Reno then, right? That's too quick.
No, yeah, they're only a weekend apart, and that's not enough turnaround time. If it wasn't a 500-mile race the next weekend after already doing 500, we'd probably consider it. But I guess it's only 1,000 though, right? That's the Baja 1,000.
I know, right? Well, hey, if we were asking Cadence or her dad, they'd be like, "Dude, no, we could do 2 of those in a weekend. We're good."
I know. No kidding.
It's a matter of scheduling. We got it.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. If it was up to me, I'd be at both of them, but it might be a little bit much on our mechanic and everybody. So we'll see. I'll give them the puppy dog eyes and see what they say.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us. We always really appreciate you having you on. You're always a breath of fresh air for everybody, and we appreciate the support of the show. And clearly, no matter what happens with your schedule, we want to wish you good luck if we don't talk to you before then.
All right. Thank you very much. And thanks for having me again.
Yeah, please tell the family we said hello, and we'll see you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. She's always such an awesome person to talk with.
She's got a lot of energy, and she's very positive, and good for her for mentoring.
That whole mentorship thing is pretty cool. All right, well, we don't know how long this giveaway is going to take, and I know that Cadence and her father are excited to get on. So let's get right into this Solderweld giveaway. So let's talk about some of the products again. We talked about it a little bit. So you guys are going to give away this off-road repair kit, which has pretty much everything you need in it other than a torch to be able to fix your side-by-side, your Jeep, truck, whatever it is.
RV?
Out in a race or out in a trail. So it's got the brazing rods, it's got the hot block, it's got a rag, it's got a wire brush, it's got everything in here. So you can bond metal if you hit a wheel, radiator, anything like that. So these things are super cool. Like, I've been a huge fan of these things. I always have one in my side-by-side whenever we go.
It's a first aid kit for your side-by-side,
yeah,
essentially.
and you guys were nice enough to give us 2, so I gave one to Casey Peck, the regular co-host of the show, and he actually just has it in his work truck.
Nice.
And he's already used it, so
awesome.
It's pretty cool to see that. We have this canister, so you can fit brazing rods, any type of rods in here. You could actually probably put this whole off-road repair kit inside the canister and keep it. But these
watertight.
Yeah, it's watertight. It's super cool. You could actually put anything in here. But the neat thing about these is you can actually use, like on a roll cage, you can use a shock mount and actually mount it on the side. You could probably fit a belt in here for your side-by-side. And we have this welding blanket. So the welding blanket is just like the thing that's sitting here in the studio with us. It's got magnets on it. It's got eyelets on it. It's got a slit in the middle of it. So, man, I'm pumped for somebody to get this kit, dude. I think it's going to be super cool for somebody to have it on their rig. Oh, and whoever wins, they should post some stuff on social media, and so we can see what they do with it.
Yeah, picture it didn't happen.
Yeah, picture it didn't happen. Okay, so what we're going to do is the rules were to comment through your buddies, like the post, and then obviously follow Solderweld or The Dirt Life, and then you have to share it to your story. So sharing it to your story has been the hardest part for people to follow the rules. So we have all of the people that commented here. Doesn't look like there was a whole bunch, but there's enough. So you can see we're on the post right now, and we're going to scroll through this. And I'm
going to do my public service message while you're scrolling through that to just say, I know that the captions aren't the most fun part of being on Instagram, but if there's a giveaway, make sure you read the caption.
Always.
And follow the directions, because more often than not, I can't tell you how many times I've done an Instagram giveaway, and 60% of the people will be disqualified just because they didn't follow all the directions.
I think last time when we went through, we had to ditch out on 5 or 6 people.
No, we got one right away on the last one. The one before that, we had to ditch out on a bunch of people.
Okay. We're going to go through. I'm going to start at the bottom, right at the comments. So I'll give it a little twirl. We'll pretend like it's a slot machine. You can't look at it. You just have to put your finger on it.
Okay.
So, all right, ready? Go.
Okay. So sharing to the story is always a challenge
Austin
for people.
Hendrickson. All right, let's see if Austin Hendrickson followed all the rules. So Austin Hendrickson. So he's going to be the first potential, we'll call him potential winner. So Austin, let's see if he followed the rules.
Okay, so how do you know if he shared it to his story or not?
You can just see it in your messages.
Oh, gotcha. Okay,
So
okay.
it's
Because I'm like, it disappears.
Yeah, well, but it disappears. But
you
at least
still get it as a tag.
As a message. I mean, I don't know who the guy is, so I don't know if he would have messaged us any other way. But
you'll still get the notification that says this person mentioned you in a story type thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, nope, he didn't.
No share to the story.
Sorry, Austin, you didn't follow the rules, bud. Let's see here. Let's go again. So we have another opportunity for you guys to win this bad boy. And if it goes like more than 3, dude, we're just going to redo it. People didn't follow the rules. Okay, go. Lons Life, LONSLIFE, Lons Life. All right, we'll check and see if they did here. It's pretty interesting to see that, like, to see if if people actually follow the rules, right?
Because a lot of times too, like, we're doing a co-sponsored giveaway type thing, but the way to win was to go to at the Dirt Life's page and comment and follow the rules and the directions there. So the caption on Soderwell's posts was redirecting to go to your page.
Exactly. All right, Lon's Life didn't do it either, so we're going for a third one. Go.
All right, third one. Okay. It's like a slot machine.
Alan Campoy. So he got a reply on his comment, so we'll see if he did it. So Alan Campoy. Nice. So it's really funny though. Like, I don't understand, like, if people really want to win, like, why wouldn't they actually just follow the rules, right?
Sometimes they think, too, that they'll repost it to their story and not tag the page back, or, you know what I mean? There's just so many. Instagram can be fussy with, reshares. It's not super friendly for resharing. Screenshotting is the best way to do it.
Well, that's why I thought sharing
to
your story would be pretty easy.
Yeah.
Alan Campo. Okay, so let me see if he got it here. So, and the crazy part about it is, like, these contests are not small.
You know what we should start doing? We should start adding something to it every time. Like, so forget it. Okay, this giveaway, no one won because no one followed the directions, and then we should just add more stuff. And maybe by the end of the year.
To see, like weed out all the people that don't follow the rules. Yes. All right, so that dude didn't do it. Let's keep going.
Okay. By the end of the year, we'll need, like, a shipping container for all the stuff.
Yeah, exactly. All right. We'll pick somebody from the top.
Okay.
My little throw wasn't as good. Adrian _13 Marin. Dude, I think I remember this guy actually sending it in. So.
All right.
There we go.
Yay, we got a winner.
Oh, no, he didn't share it. He just messaged in.
Dang it.
Well, he sent us a message, but he didn't actually follow the rules. So, gosh, you guys are making me so annoyed right now. Having all these, like, contest winners that, like, so we already had 4 people that could have had this.
Yes.
But 4 people didn't win because they didn't follow the rules.
So just, this handy dandy little kit, by the way, very rugged, and it fits. You can wrap it around bars, tuck it in. It doesn't take up a lot of space. Okay, hold on. I'm going to wait. I missed. Okay.
Was once there.
Was once there.
Yeah.
That's the name of the account.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right, that's a good one.
All right, let's see if Was Once There actually sent us a message.
Was Once There.
Yes, they did! All right, so Was Once There. They call me Bobo. Yeah, so they call me Bobo.
All right,
Once
Bobo.
There. You're the winner, bud! Good job. So he's got some cool stuff on his Instagram profile, too. So, should we call him Bobo, too?
All right, I think we should.
All right, Bobo.
You're a winner, Bobo.
Yeah, you got some really cool pictures on your Instagram, dude. I think we're going to follow you back right now, too.
Let's do it.
Yeah, so direct message us, and
oh, my God.
You won. You won the Soderwell off-road repair kit, man.
Nice. We want to see pics of you using it. All the
dude, he looks like he follows the rules, too, and he has a bunch of cool pics, so I'm sure he would do it.
You're going to be our new friend.
Yeah, and I want to actually see how people use the off-road, the welding blanket, too, and see how they use it in, the shop and things like that, because this thing is super, super cool. And I was telling Lance, too, you don't even have to use this for just welding. Like, if you want to block, if you need to block an exhaust heat or something like that when you're working on it, you can just slide it around it.
Just remember, it's flame resistant. It's not flame proof.
Right.
So if you are going to be working with it and there's going to be direct... Bobo is on. He commented. Bobo.
Oh, yeah.
It's Bobo.
Bobo, yes. Bobo.
Sorry. But anyway, if it's gonna come in contact with direct flame for an extended period of time, we recommend put some cooling gel on it, and you'll have no problems. But otherwise, it's definitely.
Hot block.
Or I don't know if you get a hot block to stick to it, but man, use hot block anyway. It's great stuff.
Okay, cool. So we got our winner, and thank you very much. for following the rules, dude.
Congratulations, Bobo.
Oh yeah. So Lucretia wants one of those. Well, Lucretia, you can hit me up, and we have some other stuff from Solder World that we have authority or authorization to be able to do some stuff with. So thank you to Lance and all the guys at Solder World. Lucretia, you can hit me up, and congratulations to Bobo. Was once there. You did an awesome job confusing us with your name and stuff. But dude, you're awesome, and we can't wait to see what you do with this all the Solder World merchandise. So we are going to go to commercial break right now, and we will be back in just a couple of minutes with Cadence Cowan.
Hello, I'm Justin, the founder of Shock Therapy. Shock Therapy has been around for 5 years, but we have personally been tuning suspension on off-road cars and race vehicles for over 25 years. We tune between 10 and 15 cars per day, every single day of the week. Our concentration is tuning shock systems and supplying components that improve the ride quality of your car in many ways. Not only do we work on the average UTV, but we also tune suspension for race teams and professional drivers. We currently tune for over 87 race teams in Best in Desert and Score. Our clients and race teams rely on our suspension components to allow them to win races and keep them safe. Suspension is a moving target. We are always trying to hit that target with every customer that we work with. Each customer's needs can be different, and we tune our kits accordingly. Our research and development never stops. We improve our components every single day. As the industry evolves and improves, so do our parts and kits. As of right now, we have over 100 products for UTVs. So when you bring your car to us, you have the satisfaction of knowing that you have the most experience, the highest quality products, and the fact that your car is being tuned specifically to you.
Zollinger Racing builds the best aftermarket products available. Products for your UTV or snowmobile, including billet radius rods, billet tie rods, billet steering knuckles, billet steering racks, alternator kits, and much more. All manufactured in the United States in-house at their headquarters in Nibley, Utah. Travis Zollinger and his team test in some of the most brutal conditions, racing in places like the Best in the Desert Mint 400, Ultra 4 King of the Hammers, UTV World Championships, and many more. Visit ZollingerRacingProducts.com and use the code DIRTLIFE to get 10% off your next purchase, and join us on social media at Zollinger Racing Products to see our products in action. Zollinger Racing, the best products, period. Yeah, finally, we got Lance from Solder World in the studio. Thanks for coming down, bud. Hey, why don't we just record a commercial now?
Yeah, why not? So good to be here, man. It's been a lot. I've been trying to get down here forever, and I wanted to talk about the off-road kit.
Dude, I love those things. I got it in my pack.
Yeah, we're running hundreds of vehicles now running them, whether it's a UTV or some guy's got it in a backpack on his motocross. He's got everything he needs to make a fix right there on the fly, out on the trail, or in the desert, whatever it is.
Well, since I've already used one, I kind of know what to use it for, but explain what it does.
All right, so let's pull one out real quick. You've got your aluminum rods. Remember, they're rods, right? So, light torch, small torch. You can throw it in there or throw it on the rig with your flux. It decontaminates and cleans like let's say a radiator. You get a random rock chip runs through as you're racing. You get a rock chip in a radiator. You got to fix it right there, or you're out of the race.
You can patch it up.
You can patch it up. It's all good to go.
Yep, just like welding.
Yeah. Also, as well with that, you've got a brake line fix. So with your flux, you can fix a brake line, stainless steel. And then your hot block, heat absorption putty. So it keeps you from getting burned, number one, as well as keeps the heat from traveling. So it's really, really nice.
I've used this not even to fix anything. So that stuff works so good, man.
Listen, it's easy. It straps in nicely so that you have everything you need in one little place, and you don't have to carry a big bag in
It's like a first aid kit for your vehicle.
Yeah, chase trucks have it as well, so that if they need to make a fix on the fly, they can get it done and get it done quick and get you back in the race.
Dude, those things are so cool. All right, so it's at Solderweld on Instagram, Facebook, and solderweld.com.
Awesome.
All right, thanks, bud.
Appreciate it.
All right, we are back, and thank you guys very much for checking out all of our sponsor commercials. We really appreciate it. So our featured guest tonight is a youth side-by-side racer by the name of Cadence Cowan. She grew up in the motorsports world with her dad. She has quickly become a force to be reckoned with. Oh, well, on the track and off the track, too, because her graphics are killing it. She has won many races, and she competes against some of the best drivers in the industry at just the ripe old age of 14 years old. She races more than almost anyone that we know and has a future aspirations of becoming an off-road legend, just like when we talked with Kristen Matlock. So welcome Cadence Cowan to the show. How are you doing, girl?
Hello. Good. How are you?
We're doing awesome tonight. I mean, it's just super hot in Arizona, but you guys live, I think your dad said you guys live in the high desert in California, and so it's probably hot over there too, huh?
Oh, yeah. It's a good 90 degrees still outside.
Oh, that's like ice cold for us.
I know.
over here.
I'm all like 90. No,
I know, but it's hot.
But we like to wear
Hot
that
for
like a
us,
badge in
too.
Arizona. We're all 90. Hold my beer.
I know, right?
110.
So, what have you guys been up to on this like quarantine stuff? Have you guys still been able to get out there and race and do all that fun stuff, or work on the car? Like, what's your guys'?
We just got back to racing like last weekend for Dirt Series. So that's about it. And then all the other races have been postponed, like a couple of the works races and then a couple of our other series that we just go for fun. But the other series that we went to for Dirt Series was the only really race that we had this quarantine.
Yeah, that was the one in Havasu, wasn't it? The works race.
Well, the works race in Havasu was a while ago, but our last works race was in Mesquite.
Oh,
and then
yeah,
we
yeah,
just
yeah.
had our and then we just had our Dirt Series race in Lake Elsinore a couple weeks ago.
How was that track? Where did that go?
It was cool. It was just a short course race. It wasn't like our normal works races, like how it had like desert in it too. It's more just like a short course race. It was a super small course, but it was super fun too. We got to see a couple people that we haven't seen in a while. It was cool.
Was it on the short course track, the Lucas short course track, or no?
Yeah.
Dude, that's
no,
my
it was
favorite
on
track.
The like main course.
Oh, the main course? Like the dirt bike track?
Yeah, it was right next to the Lucas track.
Oh, have you got to drive that Lucas track? It's so fun.
I've ridden on it a couple times, yeah.
Yeah, that's like one of
It's
my
fun.
all-time favorite tracks. Like if you have a good car set up for that track, like sending that big old tabletop in the middle, it's like 200 feet or something. It's so big.
I was just going to ask you, what was your why is it your favorite track?
It's
Is
just
that
because it's just because it's technical.
Oh.
Yeah, so like it was just really cool. Like I liked it a lot. So, all right, so let's take it back a little bit and like understand how you got into to motorsports. I know that your dad has worked for some pretty awesome teams like Honda Off-Road, and I think he said Hendrick Motorsports as well. So is that how you got into it?
Well, we've been my dad's been racing his whole life, like we mentioned. Like he's been with Driven Experiences, Hendricks Motorsports, the Honda team, like a bunch of cool companies. And then I first started riding quads when I was like 4 or 5. Like I was super small. My dad would take me on dirt bikes when I was like little baby, like
Nice.
newborn. So that's cool. I've always been in like motorsports like my whole life.
So like you can't even talk yet, and you're like your dad's was like taking you out on the dirt bike.
Nice.
Yeah.
She was born into that life. You're getting lots of love in the comments. Lucretia says, "Hey, fast girl."
Yeah, you got to keep up on the comments because I will be able to keep up when we're talking with her. But Matt Burke says hello too. Well, so did you ever have a dirt bike? Like, so we have this like running theme with all of our guests. Most of them, not saying that you did, start off on a PW50.
I think it was a 50, honestly, that my dad was riding around. And we're just getting into 110s right now. I'm trying to get a new one because we just sold our other one that we had. So we're trying to get back into it because for pit bike riding, for works and stuff, like all the kids riding around, we're trying to get back into it.
What 110 do you want to get?
I don't know. I like the new one. The new one's pretty sick. It's
Which
cool.
one? Like the Kawasaki or the
New
Honda?
Honda.
Yeah. So I pre-ordered 3 of them. Cause
Oh dang.
yeah, because I wanted it not just for me because I want to have 2 backups because I know 2 of my friends that want them. So
nice.
I'm definitely wanting to get one of those bad boys too because they have fuel injection. So those 110s are like, and I rode my buddies and I had one like a built up one that had a carburetor on it, and the fuel injected one like had no bog. It like had so much more power. I was like, oh, I'm getting rid of mine. Like
I'm done.
Oh
here.
yeah.
So when you first started like riding quads and stuff, like what was your favorite thing about like getting out? Like, because we always like on the Dirt Life, the whole premise of the show is so everybody sees you at the track. They're like, well, and I don't know if, other younger girls look up to you and stuff, but they're probably first, one of the things that they think is like, oh, her car's so badass. And then they see her drive and they're like, oh, she's so fast. And then they talk to her at the track and stuff. But really not that many people understand who the drivers and racers are, right? Or who's behind the scenes, like I was saying, I didn't really know who Cadence was or her dad, and now I'm starting to get to know them, and I'm so intrigued by their story, right?
It's interesting too, because we keep kind of calling out the design of your car and how attractive it is and how much attention it grabs. You really got to be a driver that can drive that car with skill too.
Yeah,
because it's going to be all eyes on you.
So when
yeah,
that's actually a really good point.
Mm-hmm. Like you're drawing a lot of attention to yourself, so you better know what you're doing.
And so what really got you hooked on it? Because we want to understand a little bit more about your background.
I think it was more because we went riding almost every day. Like our house was backed up into the desert, so we just left straight from the house. Like it was super cool. Like our friends were into it too, so we went camping to Glamis and like Dumont and Ocotillo, and we go to all those places. And I think it was just more of like the adrenaline thing. Like our family, like all of our stuff, like me and my dad, everything's a race. Like everything's a race. So it's like it's always competitive. Like me and my dad are super competitive in everything. Like crazy.
So who can eat the most tacos?
I was just gonna say who can get through the bowl of cereal faster.
Oh yeah, like we go through so much stuff. Like we go through like so many cars, so many dirt bikes. Like we're just crashing stuff, like running into each other. But it's always an adventure with us. Always like.
That's super fun.
That is.
Like I love that because that's the way myself, my parents, and my dad, and and all my friends and stuff like that. We're always growing up. You know what I mean? Like we couldn't get enough of it, so there was never enough time to be able to ride during the day, and there was never enough dirt bikes around. It was just so fun. So what do you guys do?
Yeah.
What do you guys do now? Like for fun. Since if you're not racing, do you guys work on the car? Do you guys still get to go play in the dirt?
Well, we're more like getting the car back at 110% for the next race, and we're helping out some of our friends. Like we rent, like our cars stay at one of our friends' house. They have this shop in the backyard, and our cars and our trailers stay there, which is super cool. Like they let everything, like all of our tools, all of our cars, our trailers, everything are there. So we help them with their motorhome or their cars or whatever. We normally just go on like razor rides because they're right by the wash too, so they can do their stuff there.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, so you guys still have a whole bunch of riding areas to get like all their free time spent on.
Sure.
Kristen Matlock says hi, by the way.
Yep. So there's a whole bunch of people commenting in too. It's going to be hard for us to keep track of them, but we'll try to mention as many people as possible. So Kristen commented in. Trevor Lyons commented.
Cadence.
Eva Star Racing. Man, we got all kinds of people over here on YouTube too. So we have 2 screens in front of us that are following Facebook and YouTube, and the comments keep piling in. We're getting more on Facebook though, so maybe you did some social media because I know you're good at social media. So maybe you did a Facebook post for us, huh?
I think my dad did, yeah.
That's awesome.
We've been doing a couple during the week too. I messaged a couple of my family members too, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna watch." So it's cool. We have a bunch of family that's watching too.
Oh, right on. Well, it's neat to have all that support mechanism, right? So you don't just have your dad.
Oh, yeah.
Your dad has some friends and family that can help him out too, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So you've been doing a lot of racing lately, I guess, because it just seems like you're always at the track.
Oh yeah, we're always there, or we're always practicing, or we're always like it's always off-road related all the time.
I got to call this comment out, though. Our daughter Stephanie looks up to Cadence and is honored to get to race with her. One of her goals is definitely to be as fast as her. We support Cadence 100%.
And who is that from?
Menace Racing.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's a great comment.
Stephanie. Oh, yeah. Stephanie.
Oh, you know them too? That's cool. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, we race with them.
That's pretty neat to be 14 years old and already having people look up to you, right?
Oh, yeah. It's definitely, like, what keeps us going. Like, this stuff gets hard, like, all the time where we're like, we just want to give up. Like, this is hard. Like, but we always look at all of, like, of our sponsors. Like, we couldn't do it without all of, like, our sponsors' help and support through everything. And especially, like, the little kids. Like, we'll go to works races, and they're, like, little kids, like 2 years old, that, like, run up to us. And you're like, oh, my gosh, that's so cool. Like, can I sit in your car? Like, stuff like that. It's super cool to see. Like, people, like, especially that I'm such a young age, like, people actually, like, starting to look up to us and watching us. It's kind of cool.
It is really cool. And to think, like, where the side-by-side industry is at and where it started, like, it's still so small compared to most racing industries, right? Or most racing genres.
Oh, yeah.
But so one of the things that your dad would probably get a kick out of this is we used to do, so in 2016, we had a really good season with the Lucas Off-Road Racing Series, and then we started getting sponsored by Yamaha, and we had help from them. But in 2017, we did so much development and work with Yamaha, we weren't having the best racing season, right? So I decided to take it upon ourselves to have the best pit activation possible. So we would have, even if we blew a motor at the race, we would have the most people in the pits, even compared to some of the big rigs, like with Pro 4 trucks and stuff, in our pits, grilling hamburgers. We have little RC cars for the kids. And my favorite part about the whole thing was seeing how everybody interacted as a family, right? And seeing how the kids had so much fun because, like Cadence just said, it's so neat to see everybody so passionate about it. And the little kids come up to you. I mean, like, I'm an older guy. She's 14 years old, but she's still getting the same recognition. Like, how sweet is that? It's
kind of like, what Kristen was saying about mentoring Cadence. It's almost like Cadence is already, developing a fan base
at 14.
Of young, yes, good for you. Of young racers that she's going to inspire.
Okay, so maybe you should just get a bunch of RC cars and have them out there too, so the kids can come play in your guys' pits, right?
Right. We already have so many, like, all of our friends are always in our camps. Like, we always have so much stuff going on. Like, there's always kids running around. We're, like, riding golf carts around. We're, like, it's always crazy at the races.
That's cool. You can't get enough motorsports on the track. You take it back to the pits.
Oh, yeah.
No wonder she's talking about the 110s, because I saw some sweet 110 jumps at the Havasu pits.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see those jumps?
We took the golf cart on the pit bike track a couple times too, and we jumped it a couple times. And we're like, "Oh, yep, it was pretty cool." Yep.
How hard did you launch it?
Yeah, it was cool. We jumped it pretty far. Like, we were all in the back seat, and there's kids jumping, trying to, like, lift the front end up.
Oh my gosh. That's awesome.
I think you might be going a little stir crazy, huh?
What, with what?
Knowing that the kids are going that bananas in a golf cart.
Oh, you know what? Honestly, though, this community sounds like they're so tight. Everybody keeps an eye on everybody. I'd be like, yeah, take them.
What's your guys' favorite thing to cook at the track on race weekend?
It's hard for, like, I don't know. I think it's more of, like, a nervous thing for me, but I don't really, like, eat on race weekends. It's, like, more of, like, I think it's more nerves. Like, I'm just not hungry. Like, usually my dad, like, forced me to eat because, like, at Glen Helen a couple years ago, like, we were supporting our friends at Works, actually, and I didn't eat that day, and I didn't, like, drink much water, and it was super hot. It was, like, 110 degrees outside, and I actually ended up passing out in front of everybody on the course. It was crazy. And then, so ever since then, like, I've always, like, tried to eat something, even if it's just, like, grapes or, like, water or watermelon, like, stupid stuff like that, just to get me, like, fueled up for the race, because I don't like eating, like, the big meals for that. So we usually just bring, like, little stuff, like hot dogs or, like, little stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. So I have two things to say about that. The first thing is do you know who Miles Cheek is?
Yeah.
So he's, like, has aspirations to be a chef.
Oh, really?
Yeah, how cool is that, right? So I always bug
would
him.
never thought. That's cool.
Yeah, it's super cool.
So who's Miles?
Miles Cheek, he's a fast side-by-side racer too. He races for Polaris, and he's well known in the off-road industry. But
you could come up with like a pit culinary cookbook.
Well, so I always give him shit because I'm like, dude, I'm coming over to your pits and eating tacos, and that's the reason why I asked her. Because if she was like, yeah, we cook awesome hamburgers, I'd be like, all right, I'm going for lunch over there.
You're so funny. You're like, I know all the good pits to go to. Go there for dessert, there for dinner.
Dude, I'm just a media guy now, so all I can do is just go eat good food.
Like, I'm just here to do an interview and get some of this food.
Yeah, get a hamburger. So
Sean Kelly just wrote, this chick is tough. Thinks she was 8 when she first raced with a broken arm in a pink cast.
Yeah, so we were going to talk about that.
Oh, okay.
But, we can talk about it now. So when you've broken a couple bones, haven't you?
Yeah, I broke my wrist twice in a car, and then I broke my elbow when I was younger.
So the elbow when you were younger, though, that didn't have anything to do with racing, did it?
No, I was actually at daycare when it happened. So.
Oh crap!
Like,
you were just getting gnarly at daycare, or what?
Oh yeah, I have monkey bars trying to do flips and stuff.
Daredevil all the time.
Yeah, I was gonna say we already know why she likes going all huge in her race car, right?
Yeah.
Do you like that?
She's just wild.
Do you like that feeling of like weightlessness?
Oh yeah, that's definitely the best feeling. That and like the adrenaline. Like the starts are probably like the craziest feeling. Like especially because we have land rush starts. It's not like Lucas, like how we're all moving, and like land rush starts are crazy. Like you're like. We're all by each other and like looking at each other, and it's all like who's first to the corner wins practically. Like that's crazy. Like the starts always like are the most nerve-wracking thing of the race.
I love that, like, because I love land rush starts, like in any form of racing, but like growing up racing dirt bikes and stuff like that was always my favorite. I always thought it was super stupid that Lucas would have us do a rolling start because I'm like, it's not NASCAR, we're in side by side, dude. Right. Like, come on. But it is neat to see that she has that. I don't want to know, like, I don't want to say butterflies because I don't know how nervous you get, but like right when I can like just feel it with her, like right when she takes off, it's like, yes, it's go time. I'm full throttle now.
Oh yeah, for sure. And people know, like, I'm like in the zone. Once I'm in my car, like I always go and make sure I say good luck to all my competitors and everybody that's on the track with us. That's just my thing. Like I like to make sure everybody's cool, and like I always have a good relationship with most of the people that I race with. So I always make sure I say good luck to everybody. And once I'm in my car, people know like she's in her zone and not to talk to me, because then I'm always like thinking about my lines and stuff like that. So people know, they're like, don't interrupt her in what she's doing, because then I'm like lose track of my thoughts and everything. So people know. It's
like a laser focus.
Yeah.
So have you ever heard?
I was actually going to ask her though, on those lines, do you have any like rituals or traditions or good luck charms or bad luck charms or things that you have as part of your routine where you're like, this has to go in this order, or
That's a
have
really
to be
good
wearing
question.
this? Yeah.
I actually have lucky socks. I know that's weird, but
Yeah.
I do have lucky socks.
Are they zebra?
They're American flag ones. I have American flag ones, and then I have checkered ones.
Oh,
Nice.
that's cool.
Awesome.
So have you ever heard, I forgot, like, I don't know what the statement is or the quote is or whatever, but like when a racer puts their helmet on, like you're in one mind on the track and one mind off the
like
track.
it changes your mindset. That's like your
Yeah,
uniform
so
or your...
there's some racers that just don't have it, right? They're a jerk off the track or a jerk on the track, or like vice versa, or whatever it is. But it sounds like she can turn it off and on. Like she can be in the pits and she can just like be like, yeah, we're back to like normal life and we can hang out and do everything. But then like when you're on the track, it's go
You're in
time.
the zone. Yeah, that's great. I think it's good.
Yeah.
You can turn it off and on like that.
It's a pretty hard thing to do, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially.
Oh yeah.
Like you could probably vouch for this, Cadence, is like there's a lot of people that get on the course and they're still in the happy-go-lucky attitude they were in the pits, or vice versa. They're really angry when they're on course, like maybe they had a bad race and they take all that anger back to the pits, but it sounds like you can differentiate it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like we always say, like I'm friends with most of my competitors. Like we all hang out like off the course, and I always say like we're friends off the course, but once we're on the course, we're not like I wouldn't say not
It's
friends,
war.
but we're not.
Right,
we're
right. You
competitors
can't say
when
like,
we're on
oh,
the
it's my
track,
friend. I don't want to do this to them. You got to like, it's a race, you know?
How do you?
Yeah, for sure.
So
we're
how
all
do you?
trying to win. So.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Well, how do you make sure that you're racing them fairly then? Like, because it's not like you're going to go out there and take them out, but like, how do you like if somebody starts getting like rough with you or whatever, you just like, all right, let's race clean, but let's just like put the hammer down.
Gloves are off.
Yeah, my dad always says on the radios, he's like, hold your line, just hold your line. That's all you can do. Like, unless they're getting crazy, like driving into you, like driving into the side of you or stupid stuff like that. But like our classes are pretty cool. Like they don't really get all crazy usually. They're super chill. Like, so.
That's exactly the opposite of what Lucas was.
Really?
It was straight up
Just a
like you said.
free-for-all, like,
It was
gloves off.
MMA.
Oh.
Right when you get the green flag,
Right.
it's like the hugest MMA fight with four wheels.
That just, exacerbates everybody, gets everybody all hyped up.
Well, that's the reason why I asked that question, because I wanted to see how her and her dad did it. But the cool part about that is that her dad's experience is going to trickle down, right? Because she sees this or hears this on course while she's driving. And a lot of the other guys that were in different series, or maybe even in her series in those cars, they don't get that same experience.
Right. They got the sweep the leg.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a little bit different mentality, but I really like that part of their program.
That's awesome.
How do you feel about it? Like when you're out there on course and you're just like giving it your all, is it like where you feel at home, or do you get nervous, or what?
I think all my nerves go away after the start. Like that's my most like nerve-wracking part of the race. Like after that, it's more like I just have to think smart and like just giving like sometimes I drive over my head and that makes me lose time or like stuff like that. So I always just have to like remind myself to drive smart and make clean lines and just stuff like that, because that's practically your whole race. Because if you mess up, like that goes everything. So
yeah. So your dad probably tells you, Cadence, just focus on you and race your own race.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, especially because there's always so much like commotion and stuff like going on around you. Like who knows what other people are doing at that point. So that's cool that she can separate it, especially being so young.
Yeah.
We have some comments coming in. Yeah.
Well, we have friendship stays on the sidelines from Landon Leitner. It looks like. Do you know Landon?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we live with them actually. We rent their back house.
Okay.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
So friendship stays on the sidelines even when you go home?
That's right. Well, I guess that is the sidelines, but is Landon a racer too?
I don't know.
No? Oh,
Yeah, he rents it. He just got a 1000.
Oh.
He just got Casey Sims' old 1000 too. Yeah.
Oh, right on. That'll be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you're probably friends or at least acquaintances with some of the people that we know or we've had on the show, like the Danberries, obviously Shelby Anderson, and Justin Covarrubias, like a whole bunch of those people.
Oh yeah, we raced with most of them. Like Caden and I raced 170s. Like we battled like our first couple years. We battled for points. Like we used to be like really close, and now that we don't like race each other, we've kind of like drifted. But we're still good friends. Like we hang out. We're just not as close.
Yeah, I feel you on that. That's neat to see though, because like there's so many people that. I don't know, the camaraderie in the whole industry is just super cool. And even when I talked to you and your dad earlier this week, it was like just brings back so many memories for me, like about growing up and just different things because they're doing the same stuff. You know, David is teaching his daughter the same things that I learned as a young kid and that he learned as a young kid. So it's just neat to see all that stuff. Man, we got some.
So somebody says Dave has a very mellow demeanor, which transfers to her. So
I
guess that's where your zen comes from.
Yeah, Andrew McDaniel. So, well, thanks for commenting in. What did Alfonso have to say?
Alfonso Jimenez says she's rad. I see her wrenching on her car. Glad to see what a great racer, and she still can turn a wrench.
So that actually brings up a good point now too. So I want to ask two questions here. I want to ask first of all, how are you doing in school?
I have to get A's and B's to even touch the race cars, so that's just like that's my dad's thing, and some of our sponsors like require for us to take pictures of report cards and stuff like that too. So
yeah,
I'm
that's
required
awesome.
to get A's and B's.
So we had Craig Scanlon on the show. Craig Scanlon used to be, I forgot his position title at Polaris, but it was like vice president of marketing or something at Polaris. And then he transferred over to a company called Four Wheel Parts. And so now he's the president of Four Wheel Parts. But that was one of the things that he was very adamant about. Is he said that any youth racers that come on the program, if they don't have good grades, they're out.
Awesome.
So
that's great.
He was one of the ones that required that stuff. So first of all, I think that's cool. But the second thing that I have to say about that is I had to do the same thing when I was growing up. But don't you feel like, Cadence, it makes it so much easier to get you through your schoolwork because you pay attention in class, you don't slack off.
Oh yeah,
and then
true. It makes you look forward to something too. Like it makes you like want to get it over with. Like before racing, I was like, school sucks. This is stupid. Like I don't want to be here. But now I'm just like, okay, let's get it done. Like let's go, so we can go racing and stuff like that.
So as much as she makes it sound like a little thing, right? Like so you have two different people in the world. You have hardworking people and lazy people, right? And so there's very few people that are in between. But once you understand what she just said, when you go to work, you try hard at work. You don't just wait for it to be 5 o'clock, right? So the things that she's learning now are very, very important for the rest of her life, which I think are fantastic things to know now. And that was what I was bringing up as my point, is that when I was going to school and I had to get good grades, I would do like my best to just ace it and be done with it. You know what I mean? Like,
so you didn't have to go back. You could get it done once, one and done.
She probably does the same thing. Like she's asking the teachers, when's my next homework assignment? Can I get it done early? When's the next test? Can I do the test early?
Like for sure. We're gone like every weekend for racing. So it's hard. Like most of my teachers have been pretty cool because it's like we tell them like we race a lot, and they're like, okay, what do you mean by a lot? I'm like practically every weekend we're gone. So I'm going to need work for Friday and Monday. Like, I miss pretty much every Friday and Monday of school. So, like, I would have to get work or do makeup work when I get back, like, stuff like that. So that definitely made it harder, but it made it, like, it was like leaving because I could do it before or I can do it after. Like, my teachers were super cool about it, too. They were super supportive. So.
That's rad. That's the exact same thing that I was. I never went to school on Mondays or Fridays. It was always Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And I went for 3 hours a day. And the rest of the time I had to work on the race program.
I'm sure there's plenty of people that think that sounds like cake. But I know like doing all that work on your own.
You got to fit in 40 hours or whatever 25-hour school week into, let's just say 8 or 10 hours.
Right.
But that's what's so cool, though, is that's what I mean by like when she gets if she has to get a real job, like sooner or later, like it's going to be a cakewalk for her.
Yeah, you're going to be motivated. You're going to know how to get it done. So I'm assuming that your school's closed during the whole COVID thing and you were doing kind of the homeschooling thing. Did you find that was easier for you to balance it, or was it like, I'll get to it later?
That was honestly way easier for me because I can go to the shop on a Tuesday. And I just got my work done for the week on Mondays. I would just sit down and get everything done. So I have the week off. So I didn't have to worry about anything, and I can go fix other stuff that we needed to do. So I think it was definitely easier, and we're considering doing it next year, especially if we have to wear masks to school too.
Oh, yeah.
I feel you.
That would totally suck, right? Yeah. Well, plus it would just be you don't want to get sick either.
It's just frustrating. I think it's unrealistic to think that anybody could sit in a classroom for 6 to 7 hours with a mask on or whatever. But, my kids kind of did the same thing. They would get their assignment at the beginning of the week and they would plow through it on Monday, and then that was it.
And then they could go just have fun.
Yeah, it's easier.
So what kind of stuff have you learned, I guess from and about your dad, to make it so that you can put all that stuff into your race program?
Definitely his work ethic is through the roof. He's always super supportive in everything that I do, which is super cool. And he always helps me. I get frustrated all the time, we all do. We get frustrated when we're working on the cars, and he's like, hey, just sit down, and he shows me his little tips and tricks that he's learned from his other trophy truck teams and stuff like that, which is super cool. He's teaching me the importance of the torque specs and all that kind of stuff, everything on my car sports, and all that, the importance of prep and all that kind of stuff. He just taught me a bunch of different tips and tricks for everything.
Did he teach you how to use the paint markers to make sure that your bolts stay in the same spot on your radius rods and all that good stuff? Well,
exactly. Yep.
So one of the tricks that I've been trying to learn over the past, my whole life basically, is how the heck not to have the wrench slip and then crack your knuckles. Like if anybody has if anybody has a secret, if anybody has a secret to this, please comment in and let me know, because that's like, or maybe your dad knows. I need to like figure this secret out, because and if your hands are cold, oh my gosh, it's so much worse.
That's hilarious. Of all the things. Hey, we have a really nice comment about from Josh at TACMed Info. Amazing maturity, dedication, and sportsmanship for the sport. Keep up the great work on the track and in school.
Yep.
We'd love to send her a free trauma kit and emergency card to keep her safe on the track.
So, first of all, this is really cool that Josh is noticing. But I don't know if you can pick one up, but they're right over there on the in the studio. But so Josh makes these things, and I think your dad will actually appreciate it, that are basically like, have you ever heard of what's called a dog tag on like for Army soldiers and stuff like that? So they wear.
I think I've heard of it. Yeah.
They wear a necklace around their neck, right? So I don't know if you can see this and if our audience can see this, but this is like a first aid response thing. So at any time, like you said, you passed out when you were, I don't know if you were on the track racing or just walking around, but like I had a bad accident in April of last year, and these are emergency cards. And what you do is you just stick these things in your suit. And so this will hang, like, let's just say, like, right by your strap or something like that. So if anybody from a medical crew comes on you, they know who you are, what's going on. They can immediately call your dad and let your dad know where you are, what's going on with you. Like,
that's cool.
They're super, super cool. And so we were going to try to see if we could work with, like, Works or Best in the Desert to see if they could have these, I don't want to say mandatory, but suggested for all the racers, because they're super, super cool to have on everybody. So Josh from TACMed, obviously, he wants to support you, so he said that he would hook you up. So that's pretty badass.
That's
you
cool.
can even tuck a little photo of yourself into here too,
yeah,
so that way they could definitely like identify that was you.
Yeah, exactly.
Just in case it, came
well,
off
in case you smash your face as hard as I did.
Or no, let's hope not that.
Exactly. So that's cool. So maybe I could line that up for you. So Josh, if you want to just text me a little reminder, maybe I don't know, tonight or tomorrow, we can get you in contact with Cadence, or you can reach out to her through Instagram. You can also reach out to her dad. Her dad's very good at the social media stuff as well. So, well, wow, that's cool. So, what kind of stuff have? Well, I don't want to say have you focused on, because everybody, when they get out there and start racing, they focus on winning, right? Mm-hmm. But there's little victories along the way, right? So you first start out, you started riding quads, and then you want to get better, and then you see a side-by-side, and you want to, like, learn how to drive a side-by-side. Like, what are some of the little milestones along the way that you remember the most?
Well, I first started with quads, and then, like, I crashed my quad pretty good. I, like, wadded it up, and I got hurt on that, and then my dad was like, nope, I need to get her in something with a cage. So then I got this little golf cart that I ended up like driving around. We made a track in our backyard. And then that's when he was like, okay, it's time. Like that's when the 170s came out, and we were looking at it and we were like, those are actually really cool. So we got one, and he surprised me on Christmas with it. And we ended up we got it built just for like a play car use. We weren't planning on racing at all. And we ended up like taking it to the dunes and like the desert and stuff like that. And then I ended up doing, our friends that we keep our cars at their shop, they were like, oh, we're going to take our kid to go to this race. Do you want Cadence to go? And my dad was up north for lineman college. And I was down in San Diego, and he was like, oh yeah, that's cool. Like we got everything ready. We took the car out there, and I got third on my very first race.
Wow.
Ever since then, I've been hooked on racing. So
that's pretty cool. Do you remember how old you were at when you crashed the quad and decided to get into the 170s?
I was probably like 5, 6, somewhere around there.
That's
I was
crazy.
young.
I don't know if you know this, but like most people learn how to drive when they're 15.
I know, right?
So she was 5.
And took third on her first race.
That's pretty cool. We got to answer a question real quick. Andrew McDaniel said it's called TACTMed. It's TACT-MED. So look for, I think it's TACTMed Info on Instagram. They have all the stuff. And thank you very much, Josh, for chiming in and offering that to Cadence and her family. I think they'll definitely take you up on that offer, because anything for safety is always important.
Andrew McDonald also gave you a tip on how to keep your knuckles from getting busted and said mechanics gloves.
The problem is we live in Arizona. I'm not trying to put gloves on. It's already hot as crap out here.
Well, we could do the reverse. You cut the fingers off. You got to cut the palms.
Oh, I got Michael Jackson mechanics gloves. That would be like the worst.
Cut the palms out.
Okay, so, man, I still can't believe that. So 5 or 6 years old, she's learning how to drive. And how were you as a driver, like when you first started? Were you kind of scared? Like, because that's a pretty, like when you're 5 or 6 years old.
I feel like at 5 years old, though, you would just be like, this is going to be great. And just go.
Yeah, but it's still a decent sized vehicle. Like a 170 is like about the same size as a quad. So that's a pretty decent sized vehicle for a 5-year-old to control. Like, or were you just like gung ho, like, let's go?
Well, I was more of like, I was reckless. Like, I didn't have like the mindset of like
5-year-old
keep your car, like all that kind of stuff. I was more in play mode, like. But now I've learned, like, it's more of keeping your car together. It's more of, like, that kind of stuff than just going for it. Like, I was young, so I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just kind of, like, go for it and, like, hope for the best kind of situation. But
so she's already way smarter than me because I'm still the 5-year-old mode. Like, go for it and hope for the best.
Fearless, Kristen.
Yeah.
This is why they say you should learn to ski when you're, like, 5.
Yeah.
Because at that moment you're skiing. See,
so when you're 14, you don't even have your driver's license yet. You're already a professional.
Exactly. Learn to drive at 5. I think that's a new bumper sticker.
Learn to drive at 5. Oh, man, that's pretty cool. So you got, like, doing that well at your first race, that must give you a pretty good, like, confidence boost to want to start doing this.
What did your dad say when he found out?
After that race, he was like, what the heck? This isn't right. And I was like, the times say it, and he was like, okay. Like, we were looking at times and we were like, that's crazy. Like, to be your first race and to get third, like, that's pretty good. And then ever since then, like, we got that 170, we raced it for like 2 years, a year and a half. And then we moved all the way up to a 900, which was like a huge jump from a 170 to a 900. And then we raced that for like a year, maybe 2. And then we got this car and we've raced that for this. Well, I've raced the 1000 for 2. This would be my second year now, but we just got this car this year.
So, well, first of all, it's awesome to see a young person driving such a, well, we'll call it a big vehicle for a 14-year-old. But so there was a picture that she sent over. My favorite picture, Cadence, still is the one with all the mud on you. That's like my all-time favorite.
Oh, yeah.
But she sent over a picture of her in the 170. It's a little car, like just picture like a little an overgrown Power Wheels with the roll cage, right, with the big motor. So but she's like all the way up on the edge riding 2 wheels, like it's called like bicycling, but she's like ripping around a corner still, like doing
full
that.
Control.
I don't know if it was full control because it was a picture, but it was
that race was actually the race that I lost my championship to just because of that.
Did you wad it up?
I was leading points. No, I was leading points. I actually ended up saving it, but second place was right under me, like right behind me, and he swept right under the inside and went under my car. And they're not 4-wheel drive, so you have to push them, and it was running on 1 wheel, so we saved it still, but we ended up taking it home second that year just because of that.
So that
sucks, but it was good.
That brings up a good point, though. So learning how to drive with 2-wheel drive is awesome because it's a lot more difficult than 4-wheel drive. But racing a Razor 170, you had to keep up a ton of momentum. Like you barely made a mistake, and he drove under you, and you lost the championship. Like, first of all, that's like a gut wrencher, right? Because you lose. But the best part about that is I guarantee you, after that, she was like, "I'm not losing momentum ever again."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Even like sliding in corners, like you would lose like time there, and then you would lose time on your jumps because those things have like 2 inches of travel.
Yep.
Like you have no suspension, so like you can't clear stuff, and like you're like landing so hard and like blowing your back, like it hurts, but it's like you can't like slow down. You have to go, like, because momentum's everything in those little cars with like so little horsepower. You have to like make time up everywhere you can.
I have to tell you, it's so like, to me, I didn't grow up in this life, but you're so impressive. Just your knowledge of the sport and what you need to do and how you take away, your mistakes that you've made on previous races and learned from them and corrected them. And you clearly inspire a lot of people. These comments are just amazing. So I don't know. I just think it's great to hear you speak about it.
What did Kristen say? She just
Kristen said,
commented.
woohoo, Cadence. She is an inspiration to all. Her and Dave are amazing father and daughter team. Love them both. # go fast girls.
Go fast girls. Is that a hashtag?
Yeah, apparently.
Sweet.
It is now.
That's their company. They sponsor us too.
Oh, okay.
They're super cool. They go to all the races. They're super cool.
Well, we'll have to check them out.
Who are some of the people that sponsor you? Because it looks like if you move your head out a little bit of the way, we can see like the side of your race car too. So, oh yeah, you see how cool her design looks?
I know. I love it. I love it.
Well, and America, obviously, Independence Day. But I think that's just such a cool graphic layout, man. So,
oh yeah, we definitely were like, I was going for like the cheetah theme, but we have a couple friends that were going down that route too. Like Sierra Romo, her cars are all like that too, and we're good friends with them. Like we hang out with them a couple times too at the races and stuff like that. And we were talking to her about her cars, and she was like, "Oh yeah, that was right before she got her car wrapped." She was saying that she was going to go cheetah, and we're like, "Oh dang it!" Like we were going to do that too, but we wanted something that stood out and that popped and that was like for me, not like anybody else had it, because we don't really see a lot of zebra out there on the track. So we wanted something that was unique, and that were my colors too, that popped. So.
Dude, I'm feeling the zebra like big time. So, so that's. Have you gotten anybody that said anything bad about the design? Because I have one experience that I wanted to bring up to you. Because, like, first of all, the guy's an idiot. But so I have this car that we call Project Unicorn, and it's got pink, yellow, and blue, and we did all this cool stuff with it. And it's the reason it's called Project Unicorn is because I was never supposed to be able to race again or drive again, and all of a sudden I'm driving this Yamaha U-Shift, and so it's this cool project, right? And so wanted to make it the colors of unicorn, and we put cool colored lightning bolts and really bright stuff on it, and the reception was pretty good. Like everybody's like, oh wow, that's different, like that's cool. But you get some guys that would be like, like it's not the greatest. And then one guy was like, dude, that thing is gay as F. Like, and I was like, oh my God, I would love to go riding with you.
You're always have stuff to say, like, about everything.
Yeah.
But I turned it around, and this is one of the things that I wanted to mention was, and to see if anybody said it about you, is like, I told the guy, I'm like, thank you so much. Like, I can't wait to go riding with you so you can check it out and come riding in the car with me.
Yeah.
And so I was wondering if anybody ever messed with you. Because, like, honestly, your car is bitching, but I wanted to see if anybody thought it wasn't.
Not really. Like, I've mostly gotten, like, compliments about it. Like,
Good.
It's super cool and unique. Like, I haven't really gotten, like, a couple, like, last year, like, we had no wraps or anything. Like, we were kind of just, like, going for it, trying to get to the races, because last year we were racing 2 different cars, 4 different series, so it was a crazy year. We were super busy, like, none of the cars were wrapped, and we got sponsored another RS1, and that car didn't work out. But it was a super fun car. We got second in the Works Championship with it last year, which was super good for being our first year in Works. But we ended up selling that. We ended up sending that car back, and then we ended up building this car to race it this year. So.
Well, so let's take a step back then and talk about, like, because you said that car didn't work out, so it made me think about, like, your mechanical skills and obviously with your dad and stuff too. So when you guys do like a race prep, it takes a while, obviously, because you got to clean the car and do all that stuff. What's like a normal, let's just say a Thursday through a Tuesday when you do a race weekend? Like, do you have to clean the car when you get back? Do you have to start working on it? Like, what do you guys do together?
So usually when we get back, we either we park the trailer out at our friend's house that we keep all of our stuff at, and then we usually come back the next day. I wash the cars, I get them all cleaned up, and then that usually takes up most of the day. And then usually the next day after that, we usually go back to the shop, and then we usually get the cars like wiped down, and then we start doing our normal race prep on them, make sure everything's good. And if we have any issues, then we usually set like our parts orders down and make sure we have everything to get the cars ready.
So she makes it sound easy, right?
I was actually just thinking, do you actually ever have like downtime, or is this your downtime? Like, for some people are like, man, I just want a weekend like where I just sleep in and do nothing. But this might be your like, hey, this is what I want to be doing.
She's also 14. Come on. She's got all kinds of energy.
Well, yeah, but I mean, sometimes 14-year-olds are like, yo, I just want to watch a movie.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. Like, just chill.
Yeah. So is this your
Oh, yeah,
downtime?
we don't really have that much downtime. Like, honestly, racing takes up most of our, like, time. And normally, like, helping out our friends, too. Like, we help out, like, our friends, like, Brandon Altman and all them, like, Landon. We help out with their race program, too. We help out with Faith and her race program. But it's all super cool. Like, we always go and help. We're all, like, a huge family. We always go and help each other out, so it's cool.
So when she was talking about like getting the cars like washed and clean and stuff, so I'm assuming that you have to like pretty much just take them all the way apart, like check all the bolts and like do all that stuff. So she, like I said, she's making it sound easy, but there's a lot behind it. Like I know when we would come home from the races, it would usually take between 10 and 20 hours just to get the vehicle cleaned and pulled apart.
I was actually when she was describing that, and then she said, "Oh, it takes all day." I'm like, "Well, you spray it with a hose, right? Like, how hard is it?" And then you're saying like, "Oh, no, you got to take it apart."
Yeah, well, it's because you have to inspect it, and that's what I'm kind of going here is like. So now she's getting, not only do you clean the car, you have to look over everything. So you know how like most people, and I guess younger people, start learning how to change a tire when they get their driver's license. They know where the jack is for their car and stuff like that. Well, she's already quite a bit ahead because she knows how to basically take a whole car apart and work on it. You know what I mean? So that's pretty neat. What's your favorite part about it?
About racing, it's more like racing. Like my favorite part is honestly the adrenaline, like, and the competition. That's probably my most favorite part about everything. And I love how everybody's like a huge family at the track. There's no like secrets. Like everybody's helping each other out. It's not like a normal like competition. It's more like everybody's a family. Everybody's friends. We all hang out, like have campfires. We all like hang out, do barbecues, everything. It's super cool. Everybody's like a huge family.
I love that part. And that's exactly why we started the show, The Dirt Life, is because we love that part too. I wanted to mention though, if you want to keep that vibe going, you can do the regionals and stuff with Lucas, but don't do the professional series because all that shit goes out.
Away.
Everybody has secrets.
Oh, yeah,
everybody has secrets. Nobody wants to help anybody. It's like totally different. I was so bummed on that when like we started racing pro. I was like, oh my gosh, this is
That's
like
how it was with the 170s. Yeah, like our clutching weights, we were like, seriously, you won't tell us like what weights you run in your clutch? Like, nope, it's a secret. And like even our shocks, like nobody would tell us what they were tuned at or like anything. It was super secretive.
And you guys, as I know that with your dad too, like your guys' mentality is just like us. Like we'll help anybody. Like there's nothing in secret in racing. We just want to have a good battle. Like it's just more fun that way.
Cadence, what are your goals? Like, what are the big things you're looking forward to? Where do you kind of want to get to? Where do you want to see yourself in 3 years?
I definitely want to stay with side-by-sides unless we get like a bigger opportunity. But I think side-by-sides are definitely like what I want to pursue still. But definitely if I get a trophy truck opportunity, I'll have to take that up. But I think side-by-sides, I might stay with them. But we're trying to transfer over into desert, which is kind of like, because like how Kristen was saying, like she was taking us under her wing a little bit this year, and I'm going to Mexico with her, which is really cool. Like it was a super awesome experience to go out there and see. It's a whole different like culture and everything. So we like that more, like, because works, we do a little bit of both, like it's desert and short course. So we kind of like that too.
So what was your favorite part about that trip that you took with Kristen down to Baja? Because you kind of got to live like behind the scenes more, like, so it was you and your dad probably in the same truck?
Yeah.
So what was your favorite part about the whole experience? Because you weren't racing, so it was probably different for you.
Oh yeah, it was definitely different because I'm used to like going to the races and racing myself, but it was an awesome experience. Like I've never been to Mexico in my whole life until then. So it was like a culture shock. I was like, what is happening? Like, and
best tacos ever.
Oh yeah, definitely. After their race, Wayne let me drive his Razor down in Sonata after he won the Baja 1000.
Right.
So that was a super cool experience for me. Yeah, it was super cool. I followed Kristen down the roads and everything, and her son was in the passenger seat with me. We were riding down the roads. It was super cool. We rode it all the way back to Estero Beach. It was a long drive, but it was super cool to drive that car too because it just won the Baja 1000. So it was a cool experience.
Did you get any good pictures?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I would have been like taking
Heck yeah,
pictures.
selfies,
A winning Baja 1000
Yes,
car with her behind the
yes.
wheel. I'd have been getting pictures all over the place.
Oh yeah, it was definitely a good time.
It would have been cool if you had like your helmet on or whatever. You'd be like, I just won.
Yes.
That was me. What was your favorite part about it though? Like, and give us a little bit of behind the scenes, because when I ask you your favorite part, like I want to know, because I've chased a couple races, but nothing like a Baja 1000.
Definitely like the pit stops were my favorite, like, because it's all like everybody's rushing, we're putting fuel, we're changing tires, we're looking at stuff, we're looking over the car, we're giving them water, we're giving them all this kind of stuff. So I was more of like, when we first started, I was like more like, I would give Kristen and her co-driver like chicken and water. That was my thing. Like I would give her chicken strips and water. Like, so, but now I've gotten more like involved. Like if they need help with tires or anything, like I can help with that, or like even just checking over the car, wiping lights down, like stuff like that. It's super cool.
What do you think you're going to eat when you do your Baja 1000? Are you going to go with chicken and water too?
Oh yeah, those chicken strips are actually really good when you like when you don't eat for a long time. You're like, oh dang, those are actually good. And she usually does pizza too, so that's cool.
I was gonna say I would want pizza too, but since you said you don't really eat on race weekends, now you're gonna have to eat during the race.
That's right, you have to.
Exactly, I know.
Dude, she's gonna have to step up her game, right?
She's gonna have all that pre-planning, but I think probably. I mean, I don't know. The difference between short course and desert is, I'm sure your nerves probably calm down enough to be able to eat without.
I wouldn't have any problem eating.
Right.
I mean, dude, I could probably just start eating tacos on the road.
Yeah. Next to you.
So, did you get to see a lot of the little tricks and stuff that they do with those desert cars and stuff? Like, you can tape like granola bars to the roof. You can like have like all that cool stuff. It's pretty neat, right?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
What was your
it's
favorite?
It's crazy. She has like a whole different car. Like she has a whole new car like strapped on her car. So like you look over and you're like, oh, look, there's new primary and secondary clutches. There's a whole new tire. There's like all these crazy stuff. Like they have hubs and like everything all put together. Like you could replace the whole car except like their motor and trans. But it's like, crazy. She has like a whole new car.
When they say they carry the whole kitchen sink, they really do.
Wow.
So we gave away some products from Vanessa's company that she works for, Solder Weld, and these things are pretty cool because you can hold a bunch of stuff on your car. We should actually try to see if we can send you one of these kits. These kits are
yeah, we have a couple of those. Lance gave them.
Oh, perfect.
Lance gave us a couple of those over at SEMA show last year, and we were he hooked us up a couple times with a couple of those, and then he sponsored us for a little while too.
What did your dad think about the kits? Did he like them?
Oh yeah, they're super cool. They're super they're handy too. They have everything you can need, like to replace anything from water lines and everything like that.
Yeah, I have to say, in all honesty, like I knew nothing of soldering and brazing before I started working with Solder Weld. But I mean, even I can use these, and I've used these. I've said before, like not even on cars or anything. I've just used them for things that I had to fix around the house that were metal. I use them to fix a fire pit.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, I kind of want to keep talking about this Baja thing. Maybe it's just because I'm so like in the quarantine zone and I haven't been to as many races as I want. Like
I want to hear the mud story though.
Okay, yeah,
let's take it. That race.
Let's take it back because how old were you when you got basically took a mud bath in that one picture?
That was last year. So
oh man, it must have been like a totally muddy race then. What race was that?
That wasn't even the race. That was practice.
Oh,
so that was like 2 laps. Yeah, it was crazy.
Where was that at?
I think that was in it was somewhere super far. I forget where it was. Peoria. That's where it was. Peoria. It was super far. And it was like, they watered the track super heavy, like to let it soak in the ground. But we were like, there was mud puddles everywhere. And I was like, it was crazy. But it was definitely a fun time. It was definitely a different experience because then the cars are sliding around because it's all muddy and slippery. So definitely cool.
Yeah, it's different to race in a condition like that. Thanks, Cody, for chiming in. Appreciate it, bud. Yeah, so it really is the hashtag the dirt life, but we should call that one like the mud life. So her dad was telling me that she can totally be a girly girl still.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was thinking in my head, like right when I saw that picture, I was like, oh, good. Now she doesn't have to pay to go mudding.
There you go. So the Baja was this. You haven't driven that yet. Is that what I understood from what you guys were talking about?
I think what she did was she went down with Kristen Matlock and Wayne Matlock, and she got to participate in the chase trucks.
Yeah, I just drove Wayne's car down the Mexico roads, yeah.
So that is pretty cool, though, because that's like a sign of respect, right? You know, like you get to keep the championship-winning trophy, or you get to like keep the game-winning basketball, like those types of things. It's a sign of respect, like to be like, oh, well, you're allowed to drive this car now because this car is like, you know, like what would you do if you were at a race and you helped Jeff Gordon win and all of a sudden he said, I'll let you drive around with me or you can take the car, or, you know, something like that. It's pretty neat, yeah. So that was a good thing for them to do, I think. And well, plus they want her to race, so why not give her a little taste, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So what was your favorite part about being down there then? Like what do you remember the most about being in Baja?
The food, for sure. It's way different. Like, you think tacos are good here, and you're like, go down there, and they're like 100 times better. Yeah. Like, the food, for sure.
That's hilarious.
So did you go to the taco shop that's right above the Estero Beach Resort, that with the little red roof or whatever on it?
The Burro?
Yeah, that's like my all-time. I love that place.
You guys are so funny.
Kristen got breakfast burritos for us on the race days.
We found a little hole in the wall, like kind of down the street though, and it was like it didn't say like really restaurant or anything on the outside, but it was just an older grandma that was cooking for everybody.
Oh, like a little.
So
kitchen.
we got to go into her little kitchen at her house, and I remember these they were supposed to be breakfast potatoes, but they were like breakfast potatoes like poofed up, like they were like little crispy, like they were the best thing I've ever tasted in my life. And then I was like, I'm gonna go here every day, and then she was closed the next 4 days.
Oh,
so I was so bummed out.
She's out of those potatoes. You guys cleaned her out.
I know. So I agree with you 100%. Although I did really think that it was cool because all the people are so welcoming down there, even though there's a language barrier. They're super fun. Everybody's down to hang out. And like, did you ever have to give away stickers?
Kristen had posters and stickers that we did end up giving away to just like the little kids that would come up to us. So that was a super cool experience too. Like, and she ordered a bunch of fidget spinners too, which was really cool. She ordered them from auction. So we're giving them away, and the kids thought they were the coolest things ever. It makes you like realize how much you have when you go down there and you're like, they don't even have shoes, or they don't have clothes, or they don't have anything. It makes you realize how much you actually have.
Yeah, it really does. And she brings up a good point, especially right now in these times in the world. Like, it makes you think like, wow, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
So, well, that's cool that you guys did that. And that's really neat that your dad gave you the opportunity to go down there when Kristen and Wayne invited you guys to do that. So I'm glad that you guys were able to do that. So I don't know what the age requirements are or anything, but like, well, Vanessa just kind of asked the same question. What's the plan for the next few years? Because if you're going to work into doing a professional desert series, then you have to obviously have a little bit more years under your belt, right?
Yeah, I'm already on waivers for 3 different classes right now. So
can you explain what that is?
Like, our waivers, like, I'm supposed to be 16 to even drive this car. So we have like Works made these things that we sign, making sure like we don't sue them if I get hurt or whatever. And make sure I can keep up. And like the tech inspectors make sure they do a safety test where they make sure I can get out of the car in a certain amount of time with our fires, like all of our fire equipment on and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, so we had to do that same kind of thing for Lucas. Like, I had to sign waivers because I had a clutch lever on the shifter since my legs didn't work right, and I got to be able to get out of the car at a certain time. And also, when I grew up racing dirt bikes, we would be in a smaller dirt bike in a bigger class. Like, we would race an 80 against like the 80 expert against the 125 pros and stuff. And so we had to have certain
waivers
paperwork to be able to do that stuff. So it's really cool.
So when you said you're on 3 different waivers, what are those 3 waivers that you're on? I mean,
Probably
obviously the one for
organizations.
okay.
Just because I'm racing adult classes
Right.
and I'm only 14, they're making sure I can keep up. So one's for safety, one's for just making sure I can keep up, and then one's for just because of my age too.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. So they're each different one.
Mhm.
That's pretty cool, though. And so, first of all, whoever thought of those waivers, like if it was your dad that thought about to ask those, that's super smart. Because most parents would just
They
be like,
wouldn't let us race at first. Because they were like, "How old are you?" Like asking me all these questions, and I told them that I was only 14. And they were like, "Absolutely not. You're not racing."
yeah, exactly.
And then we ended up looking at our lap times, and we were up with like some of the faster people. So they were like, "Okay, well, if she's keeping up with them, then it shouldn't be an issue." So they played it off that race to see how things went. And then they were seeing our lap times, and they said that we're keeping up with some of the fast guys. So then they made all the waivers so I can race.
Wow,
See,
that's awesome.
Yeah, that's super cool. And that's good that the organizations do that, though, because like Lucas was nice enough to let me do those same things that she did. So it's neat to be able to have the organizations be open to fitting other people into it. And I'd like to think that I was able to give the opportunity for other drivers to
help
be able to
pioneer
get
that.
into. Well, I don't want to say
Hold on.
pioneer because that's a strong word, but at least
Pave the way.
Yeah, at least to
Smooth the way.
give people the opportunity to do. Oh yeah, so Jeffrey Ricker says stickers. Yeah, because everybody gives away stickers in Mexico, man.
Stickers. So in order to progress or to move, like you said, trophy trucks, like if someone was to offer that to you, you wouldn't turn it down. That would be something, again, obviously you would probably have to be on waivers or,
Oh yeah, for sure. Like we've gotten like offers to like drive them around the desert, which is super cool too. But they find out how old I am because I look a lot older than I actually am. So people think I'm like 16 or 17, and then they find out that I'm only 14, and they're like, "Oh no, wait, you can't drive it." Like, so we drove the Honda cars when they first came out to test drive them with Proctor and their guys, and we ended up driving them and doing their little photo shoot with them too, which was really cool. And like just to give them some corners on like what was different between the Polaris and what was different between the Honda and all that kind of stuff. So that was cool too.
Yeah, that is super cool. We got Alfonso just chimed in and said, when companies want 10 years of management skills, like on your resume, when you're fresh out of school, you can already say that you got it. That's pretty neat.
I mean, honestly, just even the fact that you can fix a car. I know adults that don't even know how to change a tire, and you're 14 and you could probably take a car apart and put it back together.
I have to do all the prep work on my cars. Like I do all of the prep work, I do all of the oil changes, I do all the services, I do everything. Like that's just a part of our program. And I don't want to have to rely on anybody if I start desert racing. That's just the part of like who I want to be. I don't want to have to rely on my co-driver. Like, so usually when I race my 900 and this car even too, I could pull into pits if something was wrong and I can say the front right axle is broken. And like, I would just know because you get to learn your car. You know how things feel. You know how it feels when it breaks. Like I actually blew up the motor in my 900 at Camp Razor a couple of years ago. And we're even like not wanting to bring the race cars to Camp Razor, but Polaris invited us there. So we didn't have any play cars. So we ended up bringing that car and my dad's other Can-Am too, because we raced my 900 and he raced his Can-Am at the same time. And he ended up blowing up his front diff and I blew up my motor in the same weekend.
Oh man.
So
that's pretty crazy.
And we ended up having to race the next weekend. So we were both leading points in the series. So it was definitely like a rush. And I ended up having to race one of our friends' cars in my class. So just to get up some points because the motor was blown up and there was no way we could rebuild a whole motor in 1 week.
Yeah.
So.
Way to be flexible and like on point to be able to get all that done though.
In all honesty though, I think it gives you a lot of street credibility to say that you know how to take your car apart and put it back together and you're willing to get
it has to be dirt.
Sorry, dirt cred.
That whole motor. I rebuilt that whole motor myself. Like my dad was like, "No, that's your problem. You need to do it." He helped me through the steps. Like pushed me through everything, but he was like, no, you need to understand how things work. Like before that, I didn't really understand like what pistons were and what compression was and all that kind of stuff that makes a motor like work. And he taught me everything when we were putting that together, which was a really cool experience.
Yeah, and the neat thing about that, first of all, I like her dad a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like all the stuff we're learning about him. We got to get him on the show one of these days. But now she can also teach some of the people that she knows at a younger level all of these same things that she's been learning.
Yep. And she has the vocabulary and the language. So like she was saying, when something goes wrong with my car, I know what to say, what's wrong. I know how to fix it.
Yeah, and that makes some of the best race car drivers actually. Like if they know what's going on, they could, like even if she didn't brake, like she knew that the axle was broken, right? And she knew what position wheel it was on. What if she started feeling it a little bit ahead of time and she was like, you know what, I'm going to put it in two-wheel drive for the rest of the race. When we get to the pits, it's not going to be broken and it won't tear up anything else. Like, so she's going to be learning all these things during the time that she's getting ready to be racing desert, and she's going to have the feel for the car at that time.
Versus someone likes me and they'd be like, oh, I don't know, it's wobbly.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like she can say this is
But
broken.
honestly, that's not very far-fetched. Like to say that, like there's a lot of racers that are like that.
Yeah.
They just go out there and they just drop the hammer and get going, and she's already got a leg up on them.
Yep. Anyway, we're super
I ended
impressed.
up winning UTV Worlds and 2 other championships on that motor that we built. So
Nice.
it was definitely like a cool experience to be like, oh wow, like it actually like, because it was hard to put all that together. Like there's a lot of pieces to a motor. There's a lot of everything. Like, and it was just a cool like feeling to know like that you put all that hard work into it and it all paid off. Like, so.
And it held up and you did it right and you did it well.
It is. It actually is. Like, it's pretty fulfilling when you go through a big process like that. Like, rebuilding the motor is not an easy job.
Oh, I don't imagine it is at all.
So when you get to do it, and at 14, it's pretty cool. Like, I remember my dad was teaching me how to rebuild motors and stuff when we were really young. You know, like, he's like, if you can't fix it, you're not going to ride it. So that's it. And it sounds like David is doing the same thing for Cadence, too. So.
Awesome.
Well, and the best part about it is I wasn't racing at the time. Like, he was just making me work on it. But she is. So she's learning on both at the same time. So one of the things that I was going to ask you was about the off-road racer article that you guys actually just did, because that was a pretty cool article.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It turned out really good.
So she was in a magazine.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So what were some of the things that you got to say in that? Well, actually, you know what? I was going to ask, too. Was that the first, feature article that you got to do?
I was in one UTV sports magazine with my 170 when in Parker, I think it was, when I ended up breaking my wrist. That's the race when we had my 170 wrapped, and it caught their attention because it was so bright and it stood out. So then they took pictures of it and put it in their article, which is super cool. And then the off-road. Oh, yeah, and then they did it again in January on the RS1 for the Girls Ride 2 portion of their article, too.
So that's cool. And, well, that brings me to 2 questions for me. First, I want to talk about the broken arm, because that's a super cool story. But how does it feel, like, being so young? And, like you said, you have the kids come up to you and stuff, but, like, being a girl racer, like, is that pretty cool?
Oh, yeah, for sure, because, like, you get it from all the guys. They're like, you're just a girl, like, you can't keep up with us. And then we end up like pulling faster lap times, and they're like, what the heck? Like, and they always go to the car. They're like, you're cheating, you're doing this, you're doing that. But when it comes down to everything, it's 80% the car and the rest is the driver. It's like, you can have the fastest car, but it's mostly the driver that you like, that makes it all happen. So.
Yeah, well, and all these things that she's talking about, a culmination of everything, right? But so I got a funny story. My sister, when we were younger, she was racing a quad against all the boys, and they had dirt bikes and quads because it was just a little kids class, right? Kind of like when you run your first quad race. And she went out there and she started waxing like all the dirt bike like dudes on quads. And I remember this, like I was still little too, and I remember sitting there in the pits, and one of the guys, like little kids, comes up and like all mad, like super red faced, and he walks up and goes, I'm gonna beat you, girly, and then he just runs away. So I can totally feel your pain. But how does it feel, like, since you're competing at, well, now a pretty high level in the side-by-side racing genre? Not only are you younger and have waivers, you're a girl too. Like, how does it feel to be able to compete against all these guys?
It's definitely a really cool feeling to know that, like, because I race against adults sometimes too. So it's kind of like it brings you down at first because you're like, I'm not going to be able to keep up, like all that kind of stuff. But once it comes down to everything, like, and you're keeping up, like, even if you're keeping up, much less passing them, like doing all that kind of stuff, it's super cool to be able to like compete with all these guys that were saying that we couldn't compete with them. We're doing all that kind of stuff too.
Yeah, it's got to be pretty rewarding.
Yeah.
So one of the things that you'll probably agree with me, Vanessa, is that when you hear somebody like her talking about it, right? Like, you can picture them all starting at the starting line. Let's just say that, she's got 3 guys next to her, or whatever it is, or older people than her. Like, you have to have a certain level of clarity in your head to be able to understand what you can do and what you're capable of compared to the other people that are on the line. And even if I was racing against guys that are my age, right, I would still have to have that, but I can assume, like, her mindset must be so strong.
Yeah, that you have a sense of clarity. I think in a way it's innate. It's just natural to you. So, it doesn't matter, girl, kid, whatever it is, you're just a racer and it's a natural talent and you know how to do it. So
that's a
it doesn't
great way
matter
to put it.
who you're
She's just
up
a
against.
racer.
You're a racer, and it's in your heart, it's in your soul, it's part of who you are. So up against adults, up against guys, up against people who talk shit, throw shade, whatever. It doesn't matter. You just get in that zone.
She's going to kick their ass.
I know. You're going to kick their ass either way.
When I first got this car, the very first race that it was ever put in, still had stock cage, stock everything. It really only had wheels, tires, and like our safety requirements, like belts and our seat, stuff like that. And another kid we were on the starting line and I got the whole shot, and I didn't have any Nerf bars on the car. So that was more of like a safety thing for us. Well, it's not really like mandatory, but it definitely helps. But our tires hit, and I drove over his front tire, and I went end over end like probably 5 to 7 times end over end, and the car had 0.4 of a mile on it when we pulled up to the track. So it was brand new. Yeah. So yeah, we did everything to get it. Like, that's when we had to send the old car back. We did everything to get that car, and my dad wasn't working, so it was definitely hard to get that. And Coin Power Sports actually made it all happen. He set up the deal, like, he got it all ready for us. He gave it to us at an amazing price. We got it all ready to race, and it was super awesome to get it out there. And once we flipped it over, there was no plastics, no nothing on the car. We flipped it over, got it back running. I finished the rest of the race, and we pulled up for the next race, and I pulled right beside the guy that I flipped to, and I ended up getting the whole shot and winning the race.
Nice.
So my dad wasn't really too sure about it. He was like, "Are you sure you want to go next to him?" And I was like, "Nope, we're going right next to him." So I pulled right next to him. He ended up getting the whole shot and won it. So with no plastic, it's all bent. It was all crazy.
That is like one of my favorite things to hear. Like, my mentality is always get back on the horse, no matter what. So
good for
that's
you.
awesome that she said that.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about the broken arm real quick, but we just had Jeffrey Ricker comment in and said the Dirt Life Show needs to do a documentary on chasing the race in Baja. Well, maybe we'll do a documentary on chasing the race, but we'll also do some footage like inside the race cars and stuff too. I think that would be pretty cool. But so we've gotten a few offers to go down to Baja, Jeffrey, to do something like this, but the part that I don't know about yet is most of them want me to drive too. So I'm not quite sure about that just yet. So we might actually wait until 2021 or something a little bit further down the road so that I can feel comfortable doing that first too. Because I definitely want to get back on the horse like Cadence did.
There you go.
So
that's perfect spot.
For sure.
So you broke your arm twice, huh?
Wrists.
Yeah, once in my 170. Then the other time in this car. So.
Oh yeah, she said it was a wrist.
Yeah,
right?
you the first time you did it, you said it was that for which race did you say that was where you did it? Her first one?
It was the Parker race. It was the Parker 250 race. It was the very first youth race that Best in the Desert put on that had 170s in it. So we raced that, and I ended up getting fifth out of like 20 cars with a broken wrist. And I ended up still racing after and I raced with my left hand for the whole race because every time I tried to put pressure on my right hand, it like fell out and it was in like all this pain and I didn't know what was happening. So we pulled off the track and then like I was in so much pain and my dad was like, what's happening? So we ended up figuring out, like, we went back to the track, back to our camp actually, and we're riding bikes around and I was riding with one hand because all of our friends were like, let's go ride pit bikes and let's go ride all this. So we were riding with one hand and I came back, I washed my car, I prepped it, and I was like, no, it still hurts. Like, we need to get this thing checked out. And we ended up figuring out it was broken in 2 places.
Holy moly. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Talk about tough.
Yeah.
And then we ended up racing the next weekend.
She's trying to walk it off. She's just trying to walk it off.
My doctor told me that I was done for the season and that I wasn't allowed to race and all this kind of stuff. And I was leading points. So I was like, I'm not giving up my championship. Like, I can't do it. Like my heart wouldn't let me give it up. So we ended up racing the next race and I ended up winning it with the cast on. And that was in my 170, and it was crazy. It was definitely like,
I love it too.
It was a crazy year.
You're a warrior.
Yeah. Not only is she a warrior, but hey, I will tell you this though, that nowadays you have to be your own doctor. Like, listen to what they tell you, but you have to remember that you're the smartest person that knows about your body. So whatever you think is, and your dad.
Yeah, exactly. Like the second time I broke my wrist, it was at the Glen Helen race for Works last year, and the paramedics came up to me because our friends at Method actually were the ones who found me, and I was like, that was probably the worst pain that I've ever been in. Like, that was the worst break, and they said that they could hear me screaming, crying from 100 feet away from my car.
Where were
it was
you?
Pretty bad. I was down by the Lucas course in Glen Helen.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, we were doing like the whole loopy-loop thing because they looped all 3 tracks together. So it was a super long course, and we went up through the mountains and everything. So I was down by the Lucas track, and they figured out that I was actually in first place when it happened. So I was coming up on whoppers, and I got taken out by so a Yamaha was going on the inside, and I was going on the outside, and I was trying to hold my line. And he cut over and went and drove up the front side of my car and hit the front wheel. And it ripped the wheel out of my hand and broke it in the same exact 2 spots. Oh. So we ended up, when the paramedics got there, they were telling me that it was just a sprain and nothing was wrong. And that I would be fine and that I could have finished the race and all this kind of stuff. And it was pretty bad because I actually had to ask them for ice packs. Like, they wouldn't even give me an ice pack. Then we went to the race, we unhooked, and we went back to Kaiser and got it all checked out. And they were like, nope, it's broken. Like, yeah. So we got it all casted up and everything, and we ended up racing the rest of the season in the cast. So it was crazy.
That's pretty hardcore. Ugh. So we have one thing in common. I've broken a lot of bones too. So you want to hear a crazy story?
Yeah.
The only bone that I haven't broken, and people that aren't watching, that are listening to it on audio, is my humerus. I've broken every other bone in my body except for this one on my arm.
Well, I feel like you're jinxing that bone right now.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, but now you just jinxed it.
Yeah, it's just under 100 bones that I've broken. So it's
holy
like
moly.
It's nuts. But the good thing about it is that it's taught me a lot. And it's taught me, the biggest thing is not to, like, first of all, I don't want to break any bones. After the first one, I didn't want to break any bones, right? But it taught me that pain is only something that you have to deal with for a little while. And she understood that because she only dealt with it for 5 minutes and then she went bike riding again. You know what I mean? So her, the point was, at the end of the day, your mind can overcome all of those things that your body has to go through, and she's already learning that at such a young age.
Yeah, your mind can overcome a lot. It's definitely a mind over matter type thing. Now, of course,
well, we don't want people breaking their bones.
You don't want people breaking their bones and then out there, continuing and putting themselves at risk. But it sounds like you knew, how far you could push it.
Well, there's a lot that comes with that, though, too. Like, and we're not just talking about breaking bones. What I really meant by it was, like, she could face adversity. Let's just say she breaks down on the side of the course. Now she knows how to work on her car. Now she's going to put the car back together. Whether she gets dead last or first place, she's still going to finish the race. You know what I mean? So it doesn't just teach you that you have to survive pain and from a broken bone. It teaches you a whole bunch of other stuff. And to know that she went through racing, the rest of the season with a broken arm is pretty admirable.
Oh yeah, and you've also kind of taught yourself the lesson of you can overcome a lot and withstand a lot and still be wildly successful. So that's a good lesson to learn.
For sure.
Absolutely, I agree 100% with that. Well, so there was a couple things that I wanted to ask you. Like to finish up, like we had asked, like what the next, 2 or 3 years would be like. I know this year is kind of getting messed up because of all the stuff that's going on, but we want to see you get into a desert car, but we understand that it's going to take a little while and that you have a little bit of growing pains to do that. And also, it's not cheap to be able to get into a desert car either. What's the plan for the next couple of years to be able to reach those goals?
We're probably going to stick with Works for a little bit to get our feel for desert. And because that has a little bit of both, like I said earlier, it has desert and short course, which is really cool. Cause it fades us into it. And we're going to probably do some of the DP4 races or some stuff like that just to get my feel for it. And eventually start phasing into desert here pretty soon. It's probably going to be in a couple years, not really anytime really like soon, but hopefully. It's more of the money situation. Like sponsors help with everything. Like sponsors, you couldn't do without everybody's help. Like sponsors are everything for us. Like they make everything happen. Like so, it's more of a money situation because my dad hasn't worked for 2.5 years now. So he's been off on knee surgery. So that's more of the situation. So
yeah, well, and plus, he's helping you and he's doing such a good job with it. It's not like he's like sitting around not doing anything. He's really putting his whole effort into what your dreams are, which is such an admirable quality to have for a parent. Yeah, exactly. One thing that I wanted to tell you is, even though I'm a media guy, I still know a few people in the industry, and I made a few phone calls on, about you doing some research and stuff. And you have a very, very good reputation, both you and your dad in the industry. Brett Carpenter from Polaris wanted me to tell you hello, and a few other guys. So it's neat to be able to.
Oh yeah, he's super cool. Yeah, he's supported us through everything this year. He's been super cool. Like with our all of our Polaris stuff, he's just been there since ever since this whole thing has started with him in Polaris, since he's been the new parts guy and everything. He's just been there for us. Whatever we need, he helps us with everything. And
that's awesome.
It's really cool to see that though. And what I was getting at mostly was like, you can be a racer and win all the races that you get, right? Like go out there and win, but some people might still think you're a dick, or be like, no, like,
you don't do it gracefully, or you don't do
it
right,
or whatever. But all of the things that I talked to people about, they had nothing but good things to say about Cadence, her dad, and the whole racing program. And talking about all this stuff about how she works on her cars, the level of effort she puts in, the things that she knows, the grades that she gets, like the whole package is a very, very significant thing for anybody that's looking to sponsor a young racer, an older racer, whoever it is in any racing series. Even if you were racing Tonka trucks, like it still makes a huge difference, right? Because there's so many people that want free stuff, but there's only a certain few that get it.
And people
but it goes two ways though. A bunch of people expect all the free stuff and they don't give anything in return. Like we always do, like it goes both ways. Like our sponsors give us stuff and we do stuff in return. It's not they have to do everything. It goes both ways. We all have to contribute in some sort of way.
Yeah, you're 100% right. And a lot of people don't do that. But my point is that when you understand and you start working and having that relationship, it really comes together.
It's easy to get behind someone who's gracious and grateful and, appreciates the opportunity that's being given to them and throws their heart and soul into it. That's the kind of person that I know sponsors want to get behind.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at Lance. He did.
Yeah, that's right. He gets. That's a great thing about Lance. Not that I know I keep going back to it, but he does. He'll throw. If you have the heart and the soul, he'll get behind you.
So, what's one of your favorite things to do aside from racing? I know you said you spend a lot of time with it, but your dad says you're also a girly girl.
I like to dress up sometimes, and go usually like for like our award ceremonies and stuff like that, I get dressed up. Like I do my hair for once. Like it's not just in a braid. It's usually like I straighten it or I curl it or I do my makeup and I put on a dress and I put on heels and I put on like, like it's just different.
Is everybody at the, like when you go to those banquets, is everybody like, whoa, who is this?
For one of the banquets, it was like on the 24th of December. So it was right before Christmas. And I ended up wearing this Santa Claus tuxedo and it had Santa Clauses all over it and I had Christmas trees. And I walked in and they were like, what the heck is she wearing? I was like, it was the coolest thing though, because I had these light bulbs like necklace thing and they lit up and were flashing.
That is so
and I was
cute.
like, we just made like, it was fun, like.
Okay, are you like the total winner at the ugly Christmas sweater party?
Obviously, she is not afraid to express herself with flair and design.
Dude, for real.
I know, like, most people are all, like, nervous to do that. And I'm like, whatever, because I don't really care. Like, whatever people think, like, they're like, you're too outgoing, or, like, whatever. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
But
that's a good way to be. As long as you can be yourself and be respectful, that's really good.
Exactly.
I'll agree with that wholeheartedly. Look, Randy Sharp says, Isabel COC, girls can rip too.
That's right.
Yeah. And
attitude is everything.
Jeffrey Ricker, yeah, he said that attitude is everything. It really is. And when she just mentioned it right now, like, it's not just attitude in being professional. It's not just attitude in getting sponsors. It's attitude in being yourself.
Exactly. And you know what? You seem to be such a well-grounded person that, you're just confident in being who you are.
Exactly.
That's pretty neat to do that. And so we're going to kind of wind down the interview right now, but I wanted to also get your dad to come in for a second, because we're going to ask some rapid fire Q&A, and I'd like to see if he could answer with us too. But why he walks over and comes into the video with us. Well, first of all, who do you want to thank? And then can you please tell everybody how to connect with you?
Definitely my sponsors. Like, sponsors are everything. Like we said, we couldn't do like, our whole racing program is all led by them. Like, since my dad's not working and everything like that, like, they're practically paying for everything. So it wouldn't be possible without all their support. And definitely all of our supporters, like all of our followers that follow us and support us through everything. We couldn't do it without all of your guys' support. And for sure.
You definitely have a lot of those people. There's been a ton of comments that have come in tonight, and they've all said very nice things about you. So I think your dad and yourself are doing a really, really good job, not only at the races, but obviously when you connect with everybody, because you have to communicate with people like 24/7 to be able to run a racing program. We all know that. So how can people get in touch with you? You like go through Instagram, or what's the best way?
Yeah, Instagram is probably the best way. And then through there we can go through like Messenger or whatever is fine. But mostly like,
what's your handle on Instagram that you use?
Normally DC Motorsports is like our main account, but my account is more of like my personal page, but DC Motorsports is more of like.
Yeah, sounds good. So we have DC Motorsports already tagged in the last few posts that we did on at the Dirt Life Show, and so you guys can go over there and obviously reach out through there if you want to feel like talking to Cadence. Maybe you want to get some inspiration for your next racing venture. You have questions to ask if you're a young racer, or even if you're a guy that's already running his racing program and you want some. I don't know, advice, because they're doing it pretty well. So,
or if you're interested in sponsoring a bright rising star, reach out to her.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much a given already. So, well, we really appreciate you coming on the show, but I would like to do rapid fire Q&A. If your dad's not down, then he doesn't have to do it, but we definitely want to do it with both of you guys, if that's cool.
Yeah, it's fine. Rapid fire Q&A.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I think your dad'll. I think your dad'll like this. So, thank you, David, for letting Cadence be on the show. We really appreciate it, and thank you for coming on as well.
True.
So,
yeah, thank you for having me.
So first, before we get into the rapid fire Q&A, David is the one who obviously helps operate and teach Cadence all the stuff that she knows. So, congratulations, first of all, on creating a successful racing program for her, and on all your accolades as well, David.
No, I appreciate that. It's been an amazing ride. It's it's just been me and her for a long time, and for me to be able to do what I'm passionate about with her has been amazing.
Yeah, and to see the support that you guys get is just phenomenal. Like, it just because everybody sees how hard you guys work on the program, and they see how much you guys care about the industry and just what you're giving back to it. It's really, really cool. So I'm glad that you guys are getting that support, and hopefully that support can continue to grow so she can reach her goals.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, it's been amazing. Everyone's been just unbelievable how much people have reached out and been supportive. It's been awesome.
All right, you guys ready for this rapid fire Q&A?
All right.
All right, so we're going to let Vanessa start, and then when you answer, David, you start, and then Cadence, you go second.
iRacing or real racing?
Racing?
iRacing or real racing?
iRacing or you're all racing or racing?
Yeah.
iRacing.
Real racing.
Okay.
Yeah, real
Oh,
racing.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You're both going real racing? Even though, have either of you guys tried the iRacing stuff yet?
Yes, it's awesome. Our friends, the grooms, they have an amazing
It's
setup.
crazy.
It's so cool. But I have to say, there's nothing like getting behind the wheel of a real race car.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with both of those statements. And plus, I tried the iRacing stuff, and I was horrible.
Me too.
Were
Me
you?
too. Yes. I was like climbing up fences and stuff. Like,
yeah, like I was trying to take like some of the same Lucas lines on the Lucas short course that like I was at Wild Horse or somewhere, and I kept like trying to like hang some of the berms like in a UTV, and the Pro 4 had way too much power, so I just lose it and cartwheel. Like, okay, so are you guys into Supercross at all? Like Supercross and motocross?
We do watch some of it. It's been less than usual just because it's been our race schedule has been so intense.
Well, this question is just general
we
question.
definitely enjoy it, but yeah, we definitely enjoy it though.
So Barsha or Webb?
Oh, I would say Barsha.
I don't know. I honestly don't watch Supercross enough. Like,
She's too focused on her own racing program. All right, what's the next one?
What's your favorite food?
Right?
Favorite food?
Oh, tacos.
What? He's stealing all my stuff.
No, you're allowed. You can have
tacos times 2. Okay.
You could have the same answer, but let's take it one step further because we already know that Caden's favorite place is the one in Ensenada. What's your favorite place to get tacos, David?
Oh, same. Baja Burrows.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah.
Baja
That place, honestly, Vanessa, like that place crushes it. You would love to go down.
I feel like I need to go there just for that.
Yeah, I wouldn't even worry about going down there for an event. Just go get tacos and come back.
All right, there's my weekend plans.
Exactly.
We would definitely make a trip just for that. Yeah.
Okay, the next one is Little Smokies or pizza rolls?
Pizza rolls.
Oh man, that's a hard
For sure.
one. Pizza rolls, yeah.
You're going pizza rolls too? Has Cadence ever had Little Smokies?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Favorite
Yeah,
soda?
they're amazing.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, favorite soda.
Nothing beats pizza rolls, though. Like, you know.
I just had pizza rolls last night.
I
Not
feel
gonna
like
lie.
I just never have them without burning the crap out of the inside of my mouth. So
Everybody burns the crap out of the inside of their mouth, or the inside of the pizza roll like leaks on your shirt.
Yes, and it's like scorching lava hot.
Yeah. What's the next one?
Okay, favorite soda.
Soda, Coke.
Dr. Pepper.
Yes, Dr. Pepper. There it is. Okay, this is a good one actually. Uggs or Crocs?
Is it a good one?
Yep.
Oh, man.
It's a profiling question. Of course, it's good.
I'm not wearing either of them. I'm in flip flops 24/7. So
I like Uggs. I won't wear Crocs.
So, Cody Sanders, he was my co-host on some of the first shows. He's like a huge fan of Uggs. He said that Uggs are like the best thing ever at the sand dunes because no sand gets in your shoes.
oh yeah.
So I don't know. I haven't ever worn Uggs or Crocs before, so I can't be like. But he's pretty biased.
Okay.
What are you picking?
Uggs.
You're going Uggs?
100%.
Okay. What's the next one?
Most memorable race.
Ooh, this is a good one for both of them. They might have different answers.
Cody went with
man,
Uggs.
I would say for me was down in Kahia Creek, and Cadence and I were actually racing at the same time.
That was a good one.
It was really cool, and I was in a turbo car in a really technical course, and she was in her 900 that's pretty built, that does really well on a technical course. So there wasn't much time for me to get.
Yeah, plus
wound
she's
up
got
and-
way
and
more
pull
bottom
away
end
from
than you.
Yeah, so we were actually battling. Like she put a bumper on me a couple times. It was fun.
Take
It was
this,
really
Dad.
That was really cool. We actually both ended up winning our classes, which were different classes, but she was on my bumper. It was great. It was a really good time.
Yeah, that is
Mine
super
was
cool.
probably the first works race I ever did, because I ended up getting the whole shot that race, and it was like I was head over heels. Like, I was like, what just happened? Like, and I ended up doing really well in my very first works race. So that was like a super cool thing to like get into a new series and end up doing really well the first race.
That is super cool. Okay, so two things I want to say about that, but first we got to say Jeffrey Ricker. So the feed that we do, the live feed has a 4-second delay on it, right? And before you even answered Dr. Pepper, his comment already came in saying Cadence's favorite was Dr. Pepper. So he already knew like that your favorite. He was that quick on the draw. So that's pretty cool.
We've been in the truck with him and down in Mexico for sure.
So you guys had a few Dr. Peppers.
Yeah.
Right on. Oh, shoot, I just lost my train. Oh, my train of thought was I can totally get behind the Cahuilla Creek. Like, that is one of the all-time my favorite tracks for motocross. Like, I love that track. It just – well, I don't know how to –
It's crazy because there's not a lot of tracks that are side-by-side friendly. And that was one of the first courses that we raced that was actually really fun in a side-by-side.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, too. Like, I was going to ask how the transition was from dirt bikes to side-by-sides because that track seems like it's, like, so long and there's so many transitions between the jumps and the flowing corners and stuff. It'd be bitching.
That was fun because there's a lot of stuff that's jumpable. A lot of tracks are kind of evolving to where even, the new Elsinore track that we raced last weekend, it was really cool because some of the jumps were big, but
they're all jumpable,
if you went for it, you could make it, and it was really cool. It was it's nice to see everything evolving.
And even with just like the motocross, like side by sides doing like, the dirt series, like when you guys went to Milestone and different tracks like that, like I never got the opportunity to race it like on a California motocross track, but we have a motocross track here in Tucson. It has a vet track, and then it also has a real like a motocross track on it. And when I first bought my first Razor 900 from the UTV Wolfpack, I took it out there and I was driving the vet track, and I was thinking like with my dirt bike brain, I was like, oh, this is kind of boring, like driving around these little jumps and just long corners. And obviously I grew to like it, but I took it out on the motocross track with nobody out there, and I jumped all the jumps like second lap, and they instantly booted me off, and they were like, no way, like this is like you can't be doing this kind of stuff, like you're gonna kill yourself, like this is like impossible for most dudes to jump on a dirt bike. So I can only imagine how much fun they had on that Cahuilla track, like because it just would have been so cool to ride that.
Yeah, it's a blast for sure.
Oh, that's why Jeffrey says you left a Dr. Pepper in his truck. What's the next one? Oh, favorite flavor of ice cream.
It depends on where it's from.
Oh, what? You're like that much of an ice cream snob? I didn't know there was that much of an ice cream like preference over here.
Yeah.
Probably like rainbow sherbet.
What the heck is that?
Rainbow sherbet?
Rambo or Rainbow?
Rainbow.
I thought she said Rambo.
Rainbow. Okay, ski or snowboard?
Snowboard.
I've never done either, so I don't know.
What would you try? Like if
Don't
you
waste
just had to
your
go,
time.
if you just had to go like for your first time, what would you be like? All right, let's go snowboarding.
Yeah. Yeah,
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Dogs. I don't like cats. They're mean. Cats are mean.
Netflix or YouTube?
Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix. I don't really watch YouTube.
You don't? You got to get out there. We got to start teaching your dad how to start making videos for you on YouTube so you can make yourself a little bit more.
I definitely need to. We started a page, but that's not my forte.
Oh, did you start a DC Motorsports YouTube page?
Yeah.
Just get a GoPro.
It's just I need to get better at it.
Yeah, that's cool. Maybe one of these days when we get back to racing a little bit more steady, I could come out and do some filming with you guys and start helping out. That'd be pretty fun.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Ooh, well, this was a good question, but I think we already know the answers. Burrito or taco?
Tacos, for sure.
Yeah.
You guys are going tacos. So we had one guy. I think we had two guys, but we've had this question around as a profiling question, by the way, for a few different people. They answered burritos, but they did step it up and they said like a California burrito that has potatoes. Like they made it sound a little bit more appetizing, so they can pass.
Supercross or motocross?
Well, actually, you know what? Let's change this up a little bit for them.
Okay.
Let's do works or best in the desert.
I feel like you don't have to answer that on the grounds that are incriminating.
I like works. I like UTV World Championships too. So both.
Yeah, they're both. Awesome.
Both.
Yeah.
Acceptable answer. C, both A and B.
Yeah, C, all of the above.
C, all of the above.
Okay. Oh, this one's a really good one, actually. What other form of racing would you like to try?
It could be like
Desert.
speed skating.
It could be speed skating.
It could be like speed skating. You don't have to go with
like
behind the wheel.
My all-time favorite answer was because I really for the last 20 episodes, I wanted somebody to say monster trucks, and we finally got somebody 2 episodes to say monster trucks. So that was my
that would be cool.
Yeah, that would actually be really cool.
Yeah, especially with how hard those
I've
guys
always
sounded.
wanted to do offshore boats.
Would you say that again?
Offshore boats would be fun.
Can you please say that again?
Offshore boats.
Offshore boats. There you go.
Those actually look super cool. Although
And deadly.
Well, they are because they're so fast. Are you talking about because they have different ones, right? Aren't the big dogs the ones with the capsules that if?
Oh yeah.
The capsules.
That'd be awesome.
Dude, that would
Like
be
jet
super
cars
cool.
on water without brakes.
Well, no, I think he's talking about the offshore ones, right? He's talking about the ones that go in the ocean, the really long ones.
Oh yeah,
with
yeah.
the airplane cockpit that you sit in.
Yeah.
Have you seen those?
Yeah.
Jet cars on water without brakes.
It pretty much is. So how fast do those things go?
I believe just under 200.
Holy smokes!
Oh my god!
And what do they say? When you're on water, it feels 3 times as fast or something.
Yeah, well, I actually saw Pastrana's actually supposed to be piloting the Miss Geico boat.
No way.
So he's getting I'm pretty sure that's the boat. I could be wrong, but he's getting to do some offshore racing. So that's actually what got me start watching it.
Dude, that's pretty cool. You wouldn't want to do F1 racing or anything, Cadence?
Not so much, man. The road stuff we've tried it. We've tried to do some karting stuff, some road stuff, and it's cool. It's a cool experience, but
It's just different. I like sliding and dirt.
yeah, it's like once you've been in the dirt and you can slide and jump and all those different aspects that I don't know that any form of racing has as many aspects as off-road does.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that statement. What about dirt bike racing or something? No?
I would crash so hard.
She got the 170 because I've been hurt so many times on bikes. I've been life flighted 3 times, done my femur, my knee a couple times. So that's why she got the Razor, because I was like, hey, I need to keep her in a cage.
I don't think that's a bad call at all, Dad, at all. So Jeffrey Ricker says 220 miles per hour is the record for an offshore dude. Can you imagine going 220 in a boat? I feel like 45 to 50 is fast in a boat.
No.
220 miles an hour.
You put wings on it and you're gonna fly. It's.
Yeah, exactly. All right.
Okay.
The last most important question in the world.
I couldn't answer this question, but chips and guacamole or fries and ketchup. And I'm going to go with Cadence answers on this. It depends where the fries are from.
Chips and guac.
Chips and guacamole, both of you? Wow.
Yeah.
Yep. Dude, I really think chips and guacamole too. That's another profiling question.
I don't know. It depends on where the fries are from.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a fry snob.
So we have a place do you guys have a local restaurant where you guys live that's the best we have a place here, it's called EG's, and they make slushies and ranch fries with ranch on them and bacon. It's
oh, nice.
Their French fries are the best.
Do you guys have a local spot that is the best place?
Well, we have definitely spots that are good for every different aspect. We have a Knockouts Pizza, which is amazing. We have
It's a knockout,
which is our it's awesome.
What's your favorite place?
So we definitely have a few places.
Cadence?
Probably La Casita. I love Mexican food, so
We just became best friends pretty much.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Well, so we're going to wind down the show. I know it's getting late and you guys got to head home because Cadence better make sure she gets her homework done, right?
Yeah.
Actually, she probably already got it
that's what
done
she
before.
said. She's and you're on summer
she's
break.
all
You're on
done.
summer break, right?
We're borrowing our friend's shop here at 5150 Whips, and they've actually, I think everyone went home.
Everybody left.
I think everyone went home, so we're here at their shop.
They locked you in. You're going to have to just pull up a pillow and just hang out till they get back.
Yeah,
in the
we're
morning.
hanging out for the night.
Well, thank you guys very much. First of all, thank you to the guys at 5150 for letting us talk to you and having you guys use their shop and stuff. We really appreciate you guys staying up so late with us and hanging out. It was a really, really good time. Well, I guess informally meeting you guys. I can't wait to shake your guys' hands at the races.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
So thank you guys very much. I hope that you guys can keep getting back to racing a little bit more and keep up kicking ass, Cadence. You're doing such a good job. And yeah, you promise you will. So, and obviously, David, you're doing a great job with your daughter. We really appreciate seeing all that. You guys are the epitome of the dirt life, and that's the reason that we started the show. So we really appreciate you guys sharing your guys' journey and your story with us. We hope that it keeps continuing to grow.
Yeah, definitely. We really appreciate the support, and hope to see you out there for sure.
Thank you. We really appreciate it. And there's a bunch of people commenting in. You can go read the comments. They said awesome interview, and obviously they love you guys. So we'll see you guys.
Someone bet $20 that you're going to win the UTV Worlds.
Ooh, that's going to be pretty cool.
That's
hopefully,
Hey, so are you
guys? We were close at the Mint. She was doing really good, fighting for first, and then actually broken up her A-arm and had to drive the last 2 laps on a broken up A-arm. I have no clue how it even lasted that long.
That's crazy.
Still ended up third, which is amazing. I can't even believe it happened, but super cool experience to even at the first year that they offered a youth class to even be up front.
To even be a part of it was
to just be a part of it was really cool. Then the Martelli brothers were awesome.
Congratulations, Cadence. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That is.
But definitely
cool.
We'll be at the World, so I'm sure we'll see you there.
Yeah, that'll be cool. And hopefully I'll be. Are you guys going to race the short course race in the normally aspirated 1000 class?
Yeah, she'll be there. They have a youth race this year too, so I don't know which ones we're doing for sure, but definitely at least the youth race, possibly the NA class as well.
Well, it would be nice if you guys, if you guys do end up doing the normally aspirated 1000 class in the short course, because then I can line up to somebody who I think is a good adversary next to me. So, thank you guys very much. I really appreciate it. You guys are awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great night and be safe. We'll see you later.
Thank you. See ya.
That was awesome, man.
Oh, she's so super sweet.
Really appreciate them coming on the show
so
too.
Bright.
It's super cool. It's neat to be able to see just the family stuff, man. Like, we really started this show because of the camaraderie, and we wanted to show how off-road people, whether it's racers like her, whether it's people in the off-road community, or anybody in general, right? Like the people that you guys support that are overlanders, the people that you guys support that are racers. It's so cool to see how
Jeep
families
life.
get together. Yeah, Jeep Life, all those ones. Like, when you're not in this industry, there's other things that you can do, right? But in this industry, it's always so common to have people that care about each other like nobody's business. It's just so cool. And to see, that was the perfect ending to it. To see her dad come in and show how nice of a guy he was and what he was wanting to do for his daughter. It kind of gets you, like a little bit.
All in the feels.
Yeah, all in the feels.
Yeah.
Like, it really does. It makes a big difference. And to see the amount of effort he's putting into his child, that child could, how everybody says, that's the next president of the United States there. It's like the epitome of being a good kid, you know? Like, it's
well,
super
the thing
cool.
about her, too, that is she lost no energy in talking about it. She lost no enthusiasm in talking about it. She knows what she wants. She's focused. She's hungry, but she loves it, and that shines through.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. So thank you guys very much. Thank you to Hunter Miller calling in and letting us know about all this awesome new side-by-side industry stuff that Can-Am has got going, and we can't wait to see if we can jump in one of those bad boys and drive it around. Thank you very much for Kristen Matlock calling in. She did such an awesome job, and we really, really appreciate that she calls in so much. She's just a good person.
I appreciate her for mentoring the up-and-comers so she can mentor more up-and-comers.
Yeah, exactly. That I was just going to say that. I mean, that's that whole camaraderie thing that we were just talking about. So we really appreciate her calling in. And of course, we really appreciate Cadence and David Cowan for being such awesome people. Like, it's just good to see. Now it's like, I can't wait to shake their hand the next time we get the opportunity. So,
yeah. I look forward to meeting her in person.
Yeah, seriously, right? So if SEMA happens, it would be nice to have everybody come out. But so next week's guest on this show notes, I have it written down wrong. We have I don't know if you have seen it, but Toyo Tires just released a video of a pink short course truck driving around Mexico, doing all kinds of crazy stuff, jumping over canals, doing all kinds of burnouts on a hill. And the driver was Alan Ampudia of the Ampudia racing family, and they own Papas and Beer down in Ensenada, Mexico, and a bunch of other people, or a bunch of other places. So Alan Ampudia is going to join us next week. So that's going to be really, really cool. That video that they released from Toyo Tires, I think just hit like 1.5 million views on YouTube, and it was with Little John.
Oh, I have to look at it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
so
put that on my things.
It was super cool. The video was awesome, man. So it's going to be cool to talk to him about that. It's going to be cool to talk to Alan about just growing up and racing and being just in the industry for so long. So we're going to talk to some of the stuff about growing up in Mexico and doing obviously stuff with his family and their business. So I think that's going to be a fantastic show, and we'll have to do some promotion about that video because that video is just so intense, man. It's super cool. So thank you very much to all of our sponsors. Thank you, Vanessa, for coming into the studio.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you to Lance and everybody at Solder Weld that is over there giving away these amazing products.
Congratulations, Bobo.
Yeah, Bobo, whatever. Was once there.
Once there.
Yeah. So
I want to know where.
Who knows?
We're gonna have to find out the answer to this question.
So thank you guys very much for giving this stuff away to our audience. It's really, really cool. So we really appreciate it. Thank you very much to all of our other sponsors. Thank you, Shock Therapy. You can use the code DIRTLIFE at shocktherapist.com. If you didn't win tonight, you can use the code DIRTLIFE at solderweld.com and buy anything over there. You can use the code DIRTLIFE at ruggedradios.com and save on all your communications. Thank you guys at KMC for giving us all the opportunity to be a part of your guys' crew. Ryan Edwards over there is just an awesome dude. We really appreciate all his help. And thank you to the guys at Zollinger Racing Products for just being partners of the show since our inception. We really appreciate that as well. Travis Zollinger and his team are just fantastic people. So we really appreciate them. You can use the code DIRTLIFE at ZollingerRacingProducts.com and save a whole bunch of money on their amazing products over there too. So thank you everyone for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. We love you. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening to The Dirt Life Show.